Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SKTV. We'd like to welcome each and every one of you to this show. Welcome to the show.
Steve, I don't know, but your audio is coming on. Yeah, it's coming like something that's maybe that echo. So you got to check it out. Yeah, there's an echo behind you. I don't know.
Is it better?
Yeah, but you still got to do more because yeah, I think something is wrong somewhere. But you got to check it out. And we're getting you, although we're getting you loud and clear, but we experience certain thing behind you like echo.
Wow, certain things behind me like echo. I changed computer. That's why I'm actually
There's
walking
someone,
the
yeah,
computer.
take you there's someone who is in the deep, or maybe somewhere, now want to talk and hey, why don't we go
Wow.
ahead?
But let me know if it's better. I can always switch. You know what? Let me turn on this other computer here. Just in case for backup, because you never know. Um,
Yes,
but yes,
uh,
we
uh,
want to welcome you to SKTV, guys. We are getting
yeah,
ready for the show. Um, Milburn is here with us from Liberia. Milburn, what's going on, my man? Tell us a little bit about what's going on in the country. We heard that rice is there. What thing going on?
yes. Let me say good afternoon. Sorry, good evening, though. Isn't it evening time here in Liberia? Good evening, Steve. Good afternoon, business, and I get used to me. I know what I is in the afternoon time on our side, but it's in the evening time here in Liberia. So, first, I want to say good evening to all of you, and welcome to SKTV. And for matter of fact, we are live on Truth FM also 96.1. I want to say thanks to the management for the opportunity. Yes, Steve, all is well here in Liberia. The reason I'm always saying all is well because of peace. Peace is one of the best things, that people can get, that every human can get, especially when you get freedom. You can move about freely. It's one of the best things in every human life. So yes, we at least we are free. We're moving about freely. We have our freedom. Peace is well in tight. Yet, pertaining to the rest issue, the rest is in country, but we are yet to see maybe the way it used to be like before. That means it used to be surplus. You when you go to any other maybe marketplace or places, or you go to some of the shops around here, you're going to see rest, or maybe you have to see rest. But we are yet to see it like that. But we hope and pray that at least it will be distributed around so that our people can get it. And that's another thing. Then, in other news, the government of Liberia, or in fact, let me just say, the other branch of government, that is the legislature, through the Senate, Senator Sir Joseph, right? Yeah, Sir Joseph, said that they want to do some increasement in the money or the funding that have been given to the red dealer. That is because the money used to be something like 11 millions, but he's saying that at least the government should make sure that they add up to 20 millions. So that's the negotiation that is ongoing. But how significant is that? Or in fact, whether that one going to make any impact? Because and at the same time, he said that they're going to be food shortage around the world. After saying that, he said that they're going to be food shortage around the world. So how prepared are we as a people? All of these things. I mean, it's raining here in Liberia. It's really raining cat and dog here in Liberia. The rain really falling here from our side here in Painesville, in Monserrado. So mm. So
Wow.
there are a lot of happening though. There are a lot of happening, but I think these are a few things that we're going to talk about. Yes, I guess you've been following the other one also on the internet.
Well, thank you for the latest update. The rice is in Liberia, but it's yet to be assessed, seen, or provided to the citizens. But at least the rice is in Liberia, from what we have heard. We are grateful to be here today. We want to welcome each and every one of you um, to SKTV. Those of you watching us um, from different parts of the world, especially the diaspora, I want to say thank you for tuning in. Share the show. Please help us to share the show. We'd like to Encourage you to share the show. As always, we believe on here on SKTV that the Liberian people are the most important people on earth. We also believe that we believe that the Liberian women are the most beautiful women on earth. If you want to argue that, then you can put yourself in a situation you can handle. But we believe that. But we want to welcome you to today's edition. Today's Saturday, the 15th of October 2022. We are excited to be here. A lot of things to cover, but today we are going to be playing host to, as you've seen here, Mackalord, or some people call him Chances. Many of you, especially the younger generation, might have heard about this name or this person. Um, and so we are here to hear from him. From just basic knowledge and understanding, we are fairly aware that, or we are quite aware that he's a friend of President George Weah. Um, that's what we're aware of. We will turn the music off from Liberia so that you can hear us. We're also following different angles on different things going on around the world because as part of what we do ensure that we are collaborating, we are gathering, and we are multitasking. So we're following up with the ANC convention in Maryland. Very shocking and good news. Some of the seditions or George Weah supporters brand and claim that we are Cummings Station or bought.
Yeah,
Whereas,
Steve, sorry, but we're doing some technical work. I just experienced some technical problem here, so I had to do some adjustment. I don't
thank
know,
you.
but now you are not loud, live and loud and clear and everything. So you can
So,
please
so
go
I'm
back.
clear that I don't need to switch computers, right?
No,
Okay,
no,
wonderful,
I think
wonderful.
yes,
Okay,
I think
so
the problem. Yeah, I think the problem will coming from our side here. Now I really experience.
yeah, my man. So
Yeah.
wahala they come on out for your on our side now contract for
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, because but man, the problem there is that the Wahala just too much. So sometimes we gotta calibrate, we gotta do a lot of things. But
Yeah,
and like but just so interesting. And
because I'm looking at the computer here, you telling me say
sorry,
that.
the latest result, the way it coming, I don't know. Well, my man, like, but just so interesting.
Oh no,
I don't know.
these are some of the things that we would cover next, hopefully
Yes.
tomorrow. With that, we'll
Hmm.
get into.
Yeah,
But
and these are a lot of news. Yes.
yes, a lot of things happening. But like I was saying before you came on and
Mm.
informed about the technical issues, uh, we're following out with the ANC Global or the ANC Convention here in the United States, currently in Maryland. We're following up with them, getting some updates. But we'll talk about that. We will talk about the ANC Global and Alexander Cummings. For some of y'all who think that we're Cummings boys and Cummings board this one, Cummings board that one, are your business. We will talk about Joseph Yuma Bwaga's interview. We'll talk about it tomorrow. You don't want to miss it as well. We will point out some things in there because we have the transcript to the interview as well as the interview itself. So we'll talk about it. And we'll talk about other political issues going on in the country, such as some of the things that Milburn has spoken about. Huge corruption allegation in Legis, and they're still quote unquote carrying on the census or whatever not. We'll talk about some of these issues tomorrow. So tomorrow, tomorrow, and not even the foreign inside. But in the meantime,
Yeah.
so
You
yeah,
said?
yeah, yeah. Give us a little bit on our latest update really quick as we make connection here with our guests who should be coming on anytime.
Yes, I think Legis is not doing well. Or in fact, the people who are heading the entire sector, they are not really doing well because since 2008, Liberia, their census, it been almost so many years. Let me just say it. Yeah, been a lot of years that passed. So we are expecting for Legis to be on top of the game, I mean, get everything in place, get everything prepared, but not what we experiencing today. A lot of people that go for tests, that, because I think they'll be starting in this month, or either the 24th or sometime in this month. So starting in this month, and there are a lot of bureaucracy. People are now finding it difficult. Even you will see that the female name, bearing a male face or something. The elementary mistakes are just too much. Because let's just say that they're going to, after when they went for the test, according to them, they told all the candidates that they're going to give the results right on, maybe on the same day. But unfortunately, the result couldn't come. Even up to date, some results are just, no here and there. There are a lot of things happening. People are complaining. People calling the journalists here and there, complaining about the entire system. People are so frustrated with the way the system is going. Now, you're talking about counting people. You're talking about a thing that won't, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you summarize your thought? Because tomorrow we get into this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you are right. So now let me just say this, because Steve, is not just so easy, because National Election Commission and other legends, these are all tests, even though there are a lot of things that we'll be discussing on tomorrow. But this thing also plays on National Election Commission should also take note, because up to now we are yet to see any sign of awareness of the entire biometric system, registration, and so on. All these things into play. So let's just have to do all they can to make sure that the system is in place. Thank you. So Sam, we say tomorrow. I think we're going to keep everything for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely tomorrow will be the tomorrow. But we are getting into into that. But let's get to the quick musical break, as we have signaled that our guest is here. We'll be bringing him on right after the musical break here, very short. As always, please share the show. We'll be back in a jiffy here. We won't no copyright to the song or the music that has been played.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Sonny that dear boy. I'm glad with the great opportunity given me to introduce to you your president.
Babu want to become president.
That one not true.
Muskiro want to become president.
That one not true.
Poppy Dosse want to become president.
That one not true.
Crazy man you see want to become president.
That one not true.
Mr. Krede want to become president.
That one not true.
Mr. Lala man want to become president.
That one not true.
President you will see you.
That one not true.
Mr. Roro want to become president.
That one not true.
Diego. Now how the president business will be? We suffering for some more. Mr. Lala want to become president. President you see want to become president. Mr. John President. It can't be one angry. Let me tell you something. When they won't become president with Lala, they will come and say, as the president of the Republic of Liberia, I thank you people for introducing me as the president. The power invested in me as the president of the Republic of Liberia. I want to make sure I will bring the rest press down.
That one not lie.
Yeah.
That one not lie.
I'm going to pull all the fear press down.
That one not lie.
I'm going to bring the gasoline press
That
down.
one not lie.
Yeah.
Thank you. That one I lied because of the show. We will bring in our guest really quick to get started here so that we can leave on time. And make sure we cover the areas that we cover on here today for the sake of the conversation. So let's bring in our guest. We'll make the disclaimer once our guest comes on. We'll make the disclaimer here. Good afternoon, good morning. How are you, Mackalord?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I'm doing fantastic. Thanks
Okay.
for asking.
Well, you are very welcome. Well, welcome to SKTV. This is your debut or your first time being on SKTV. So we'd like to welcome you.
Yeah, I want to thank you for the opportunity. I'm honored. I'm humble. I'm sorry. I'm on the road, so I was supposed to be real prepared, but I had an emergency, so I had to attend to it. I'm on the road, so I look like a soccer player right now. That's
Yeah,
the entire Liberia is a soccer nation right now. Yeah,
yeah.
so
For a minute, I thought you were on someone that clocked in because I seen the back. I think was you clocked in.
And that's what, in fact, I was thinking about. So, whether you are going to play for Barcelona because the way they are down in, thing that
My man,
happened.
Lee Oba. Yeah, ba. Lee Oba.
By the way, Mackalord, want to say good evening to you from us here in Liberia.
yeah,
Yeah, welcome to the show. Quickly to our viewers and our listeners. As a disclaimer, always, whenever we have a guest here, we can respectfully disagree. Let's make our guests feel welcome, and let's make him feel at home as we've done for every other person. You will have the opportunity to participate either via phone or we'll look at some of your comments or so forth. But either ways, we will provide you with that opportunity when the time is right. But in the meantime, we'd like to go back to our guests to I, I want to start a conversation. I want to start a conversation like this with how, how you came up with this name Mackalord and Chances. How you guys came up with that name? Or those
yeah.
types? What's going
Oh,
on?
no, let me start with Chances first. Chances is an old school name. So, when you ever heard George Weah in the old school, my name is Chances. That's the old school name. And like George Weah, we call him Mr. Pompadopoulos. So, a
Mr.
lot of people,
Papadopoulos?
Mr. Pompadopoulos.
Papadopoulos. What does that mean?
Yeah, that's a Greek philosophy. So, it's deep. So
Okay.
when I try to explain, it would take a lot of time of the show because he's a lot of things. So Mr. Pompadopoulos.
Okay.
So Chances is my old school name. So we have other name Venducci, Pucci, all the rest of the guys. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for
And
that.
Mackalord, sorry, and Mackalord is a name that is made up because I spoke about it before. I had a history teacher when I was much younger in Tomo Village in Garnesville, and his name was Augustus, and he was he was into history. So every time he came around, he talked about the French Revolution, the American Revolution, about history, things that occur, events. So because I was the go-to guy, my mother had a shop and I was in Katira at that time. I remember she did not want me to go out. She wanted me just study and study and study and be like the great guys like you know Louis Brown and all the other great guys. Like that. Would when they stay somewhere and speak, people will say okay. So she said you don't have to go out. You're gonna stay right to the shop and be selling so you can go out. So the guy used to come all the time, Augustine, and then all my friends, I was the go-to guy. I provided for them. I put food on the table. And so he said, okay, in the French Revolution, there was a guy called Michael Delord.
Yes.
So yeah, that saved the French, yeah. So he said, this is Michael Delord right here. Because he's the guy that saved the day every day. And they had a little a shot. The King Jews, something I don't even remember. They call it Fula Bokba for the Bassa tribe. So one small little bottle, every time he comes in, he will cut his little Fula Bokba, and they say, oh yeah, this that. So I said, oh, my name is not Michael Deloyd. I changed it to Mackalord. And it sounded good so much, and so people just gravitated towards that, and it pick up, and it, up to the side, never stopped.
Okay. So Michael Deloyd. Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
for the brief historical context of the names that people know you by or as. We want to say thank you so much. Really quick, if you're just joining us, we're on Truth FM 96.1. We want to say thank you for tuning in or for listening to us. We also want to use this opportunity to let you know that we're on Facebook live here. We're on YouTube. We are on
YouTube.
SKTV Live and SKTV as well. So let's let's share the show as we get into the conversation, as we've laid the premise for this conversation. Just before we go to national issues, can you briefly? I know we've heard different sides of the stories. Can you briefly summarize how you know George Weah, how you got to come in contact with George Weah? Because we see Sekou Carrasco with George Weah now. How you know George Weah?
Oh no, it's a long story because, as I said on my previous interviews and podcasts, Joshua's mother and my mother were best of friends. Two young Basel girls, from the old road. We knew one another when we were little. Then we separated. I always say that, two little children grew up somewhere and they were separated by, went to their parents. The other one went to their grandmom. And all those years, sometimes you lost that sense of knowing that you knew this guy, Then at times grew longer and longer. We met again in GW Gibson, and then we really met again in around the football field. I used to play for Shibo back in the days on 12th Street. He used to play for EE. We got to know one another there again also. And then we came to, he was in Wells Heston, and I was in BW Harris at that time. And then, as I said, we met in GW Gibson. Then Wells, he was in Wells Heston, and I was in BW Harris. So with the light of Sweet Dick Willie, Ghibli Chair, the late Paul Harris, which I want to talk about today too, if I have the opportunity. Stanley Phillips and other people. So every last period, because of my voice, people wanted me to do journalism. We had at that time in BW Harris School, there was extra period. It's called extracurricular activities. So you choose what you want to do. So this guy came and said, "Hey, I like your voice. I want you to be a journalist." I didn't want to go to school. I didn't like school. So I said, journalism, I got to be studying and reading. Come on, I'm out of here. So I would run and go to West Heston every last period and I go sit in the class. So that's where the bond started again. My mustache was thicker. So he used to be laughing at my mustache and saying all the crazy things I can say on television right now. So, and from there, time passed again and we met, through Kevin Segway again. And then things, got together and I went to Ghana. To be honest, his mother and myself and Karika, which was our boss, traveled by sea 1996 during our April 6th.
Right.
The late Lawrence Doe or whatever, he had a fishing board. And we rode on our boat we sailed for like 3 days or 4 days. And with his entire family, his mom, his sisters, we went to Ghana doing the boat challenge April 6th. I'm boat challenge April 6th. So I stayed in Ghana for a little bit. And then we went to, one day, my cousin over here wants a towel. At that time, it was tough, right? So Liberia was playing. So she said, "Oh, I will give you 5,000 cedis to go to Lomé to watch the game." That was my first time going to Lomé. So while I was there and minding my business, hustling myself that afternoon, I saw the car stop and Pucci Venducci, Abobo, Roberto Carlos saw me and said, "Hey, that's Mackalord over there." And Joshua they were looking for something very important to him that day, which I don't want to discuss on this platform. So when it got done, he said, "Oh, but I know this guy." And we started laughing and this, that, and I delivered for him. And then he said, "Oh my God, this guy is very, very important to me."
Hold on one second. Yeah. You deliver for him. What does that mean? When you speak in code, you got a deep code.
Yeah, it's personal. So okay. I want to keep it like that. It's in the book.
Okay.
When you read the book, it's full details. It's in the book, and you're gonna read and you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about, what you were looking for that day, and how it happened, and all of that. It's in the book. So I want to keep it private still, and when he saw me, he said, "Oh my God," he said, "This guy, that's my man right here." So then he took me to the Hotel de la Peste. I know a lot of people that were at that hotel that day It was a grand celebration for me. Grand celebration. People was at the hotel, they saw it, and he said, from today's date, you're not going to leave my side. So, and the rest is history.
Okay, so the rest is history. Okay, so that means your connection go way back as Liberia and as
When we were little boys. Yeah.
as far as
Chubo.
Chubo. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good to know.
On the old road, long time ago. Before he even went to Gibraltar, before Gibraltar ever saw him, I knew him.
Okay. Very interesting. Well, that's the man. That's the man, Josh. We are from a so we're speaking now from a social context.
Yeah.
From a social context, or maybe from a celebrity context, wherein
no, from the celebrity context is in the let's say in the late 80s, because he was a superstar already when he was in Where's the Sun. So at that time, yeah, we were chit-chatting.
All right.
As I said, Jubilee Chair, which was maybe Sweet Dick Willie, and the late Paul Harris, which I always want to talk about because that guy died from frustration, by this brother. I want to talk about it too. And Senna Phillips and a lot of people, and Josephine Gogba, that I don't know where she at now. And we used to sit in the back,
And I want to push forward just a little bit. Considering you said you've been knowing George Weah from the celebrity days, social day, whatever it is. I want to. Some people would say maybe you became George Weah, picking George Weah, a handyman, George Weah, a ranger. You organize things for him, you position things for him. But here's my question to you. How do you categorize your relationship with President George Weah?
Oh, as a brother that confide in one another, I'm a very humble guy. Very humble guy. So my mother taught me and always told me be humble. So going to bring a plate of rice for George, it was nothing, because life is very simple. We make it what it is. You want to be pompous and this, that. So going to buy something for him, maybe holding his bag, you come to say, but we had a mutual friendship and respect for one another. I could tell him things that was key and very important, and he listens. So that notion, oh yeah, he was just a boy, bad boy, all of that. No, he respected me more than what it say. Because how would he invite me 3 different times to where he at? Because I spoke life into him, and we had other things. But when boys together, right? As I said, he's not a sophisticated guy, and he may feel insulted, but that's the truth. People know that. So going out there to talk to women or whatsoever and this, that, it was not a cup of tea, because he grew up in a different environment where we, had that ability to just walk to people and connect and speak your mind. So he relied on me, yes. But we're all boys, so that's what it is,
Okay, so the current president, you've used the word not sophisticated. Now, one of my Oma who all the way in Lofa County, all the way in Popala home, might not understand what you mean by sophisticated. What do you mean when you say that? Put in the common Liberian English so that those who listen to you on the radio can understand exactly.
So when I say Liberian English, now you say you're not open. You're not open.
Okay, so
yeah, so things that normal people would do, the guys that back then they were going to St. Patrick's, Cathedral, then PW Harris, SCWA, then when they're in the area, they hanging out, you can see them, they dress well, they know things as being civilized.
Okay.
And you could ask me, people can be civilized, they didn't go to school, but it's broad,
So then let me, if you're not open, that's a Liberian term that could mean a lot of let me ask you this question. Is there a difference between the George Weah you knew back then and the George Weah you know now?
Yes.
What do you think is the difference?
Actually, because maybe I would say I was naive at that time. And some of the things he's doing today, that was things that I noticed it, that he was, and let me go back first. You see, George Weah is somebody that he loved attention. So sometimes I used to disagree with him, say, hey, listen, he will give people something and then he talks about it. So that's the kind of guy he is. He now he's still the same. He want to be put in your show. He dressed, oh, you take my picture and all that kind of stuff, you know. But he was calm in a sense that you think he was humble, but because maybe the power now reveals him that he was not humble. He was a cocky guy, arrogant, but he appeared to us that he was cool. So it was deception. I will use the word deception.
So would you characterize President George Weah being deceptive?
Yes.
Okay. So then someone would say, before we get into, because we're laying the basis here to understand or characterize the president, we're laying these basics because I would like to know. Then if somebody were to ask you, you who grew up with George Weah, know President George Weah, how do you characterize President George Weah? Who is he? What would you say?
He's somebody. He's not a guy that can make a decision on his own. Forget about soccer. He got poor judgment. His decision making is very poor. He covets other people's possession. And a lot of people will argue that, oh, he have money and this, that. And, you know, forget about 5 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old. But coming to maybe 19, 20 years old before Joshua went to Tournai and all of that, that's the place I'm talking about, because he was fully maturing now. And he's just a greedy guy, you know, a greedy guy that only, again, I say he cared about himself. My battery is going. Let me see if I can put this right there. I know you can still hear me.
Yes.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So he does things for himself. A lot of people don't notice that. So yeah.
So Mackalord, and I don't so care about how old you are or your age or so forth. But I'm trying to relate this question in a context where somebody will ask you and say there are young people now who the president seem to be walking in your shoes, such as example Sekou Kalasko, maybe Kef Hassan, and other younger gentlemen or women who might be attached to the president or like the president. I'm hearing the feedback. I'm not sure if it's from you. Hello?
You talking about K Hassan? Can you please?
Yeah, but let me finish your question because.
Okay.
Can you hear me clearly?
This is very, very low, so my volume is low. I'm trying to pick it up.
Can you hear me, or you want to go back and come back in? You can go out and come back in.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you can log off and come back in. So Mackalord will be back. We're laying the premise to understand the president before we get into some of the deep diving question. Considering, if you really look at it for you, Melbourne, you are muted. I'm not sure. Okay, good. Yeah, Melbourne, there is from my line of work, what I'm seeing there is a consistent pattern I'm seeing, such as the replica or the duplicate of people like Mackalord. Or in the context wherein the president always recruit whether they're younger guys or whatever it is, to quote unquote do some of the things that you see them doing, either to praising him or so forth, but then they fall apart. So let me get back to him here because he's here. So can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
it's much better.
I can hear you because I got my earpiece. I will have to switch again back to my charger. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. My phone is not charging.
Okay, wonderful. So let's get to this question I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
One might say Mackalord was of age. He was mature. What broke your relationship with President George Weah? Given everything that you said, you were connected, you were cool. You know, he had a theme and so forth. What happened? What broke your relationship with him?
You know, I would disappoint you and disappoint your audience again, your listening audience, because it is personal.
Okay.
So I want to go in the book when you read the book, because this guy is evil. He's evil, being that, as I said, he's greedy. He covets other people. He's selfish. And if you knew him, if you walk in the room, you and George, and you're sitting in that room 5 hours, George want to be the only person to talk 5 hours. And if somebody comes in and try to, he said something that was not right, and somebody said, "Oh, it's not right," that person, he had malice against that person already. You don't want to talk to that person no more. So again, I said that because of his greed and evil, wickedness that is in him, I was separated here myself today because I didn't do nothing to him. He wronged me, and he caused my life psychologically. I almost took my own life, for what he did to me and the pain and suffering that I went through. So I have had a conversation with one or two of my friends. It took me away from a lot of Liberians. I didn't want to be friends with them no more because something that affects you, Steve, I tell you, right? Guys that live in America that know about mental health and they work with people, but because of evil in these Liberian guys, evil. Like I said, that's why I always refer Liberia to the land of the pharaohs, ancient Egypt, because it's not normal. That the guys know that mental health, mental illness exists in this West that they live in for 15, 20 years. People can snap just because when somebody do something to them, because our biological makeup are not the same. We are different. And then when something happened to you, it's like, oh my God, from here, man. You food man, that's somebody better. So it is sad.
So
it took me, go ahead.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, but so then while you are concluding on your answer, what is your current relationship with President George Weah? When was the last time you spoke with him?
2013. It was funny though. I came to Liberia 2007 with George. I came to Liberia. We went to the stadium. 2009, I came back. We ran the Let Geraldine Doors campaign. And he betrayed me again. He left me and walked away. I stayed in Liberia for 4 months. The great Mamadou Massacre monk had to look for George Weah and call and say, "Do you know Mackalord is still back home?" I lost my wife. I lost my home. I lost everything that I had because I had took my savings, and my wife and myself, we tried to do business and bring containers to Liberia. And all of that, I lost it. So then 2011, I came back to Liberia again. 2013 was the last time. This is funny, right? They say I try to make this thing personal about me and George. When you ask me the question, so I will answer. The last time, 2013, George and Greta Kojo go pick George up on the airport. And he said, "Oh, Mackalord is here." So they called me. And I was with Edwin Zidi at that time at Zidi's hotel on the beach. So when he called me, he started joking first. "Oh, brother, you say you can run Eddie Jennings campaign?" I said something to him. He said, "Oh, man, you're joking." I said, "Don't do that. I don't know her from nowhere." Or come to the house. But then I knew the people that were coming around George now was different people. You could sense evil in them because they have never been to that spot before. They could kill you or do anything. And back in the days, I don't know how old are you, but you could be around your friends. You could leave your food, your drinks, and everything. You leave it right there and walk away and come back. But nowadays, you can't do that. Different people, they are evil. So I said, "Oh, I sense it." I said, "No, I cannot. I don't want to sit to the house." He said, "Oh, come." I said, "No, I'll be to Zidi's place." So he said, "Oh, come to the house." Now, the first time I saw the man they call Carlasco that passing around making noise, 2013. He was never around George before. All these years, I never ever saw him before. But because George is a habitual liar, so that when he stand up there and say, "Oh, this. I saw that on the wall. Because George got a tendency, he will go and talk negative things about you. And when you arrive now, he tried to live up to what he said to the people about you. So I entered the house. and playing pool. We're laughing and joking. Everybody know back in the days when George has food, if it's not a foreign guest, I go to the plate, the table, and cut. Certain time, people thought it was something that we were dealing with. If I don't cut the food, George don't eat it. And we laugh about it, and we talk about it, and there's that beginning, I said, yes. I'm going to die for nothing if somebody's going to put something in the food for George. People can attest to that. I see the food, I said, oh, George. I said, begin, I'm hungry, man, there's that. He said, don't touch the food. If for my guests. I said, okay. I thought it was foreign guests, right? Guess what? Who I saw coming in the house after 30, 15 minutes? Appeton, my best friend Appeton, and Mish. Where George know Appeton and Mish from? You know, I don't want to speak ill. I don't want to elaborate on it that, you know, Appeton will feel bad and whatsoever. But Appeton didn't know George before. That George will have food on the table. Me, Mackalord, called me to the house. He said, I should not touch the food. Other than over there, the Carlasco said, when you call him, he will tell you. I said, wow. They came, other than our society people that are amazing. They're doing that. Will come back. They're doing the hitting, they did this, that. He won, he hugged Appeton, he hugged Mish. And he told Appeton and Mish, let's go eat. George did not invite me. I'm like, what? And they sat down, they cut the food and everything. Then he left her here. Oh, my man, Mackalord, if you want, you can't eat. I said, thank you, brother.
Okay, well, thank you for.
Yeah, that was the last time.
There are some questions. There's some questions that, especially from an emotional point, because from what you stated, it seemed like you were emotionally connected or attached to some extent to George Weah, giving different factors or different reasons, which we're not going to explore here or whatever not. But I want to pivot the conversation because you might not be able to answer those questions, and I don't want this interview or conversation to seem more or like your brain. But let me welcome Sekou. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Sekou.
How you doing?
Man, please, 1 second. You are calm, man, Steven, and I see another calm person. Sekou come here. I gotta be calm because I'm rowdy. I like to be yelling and doing my hand like this. You bring so calm people around me now. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so let me get to this question. Let's move fast forward to the presidency of President George Weah. Today, you feel hurt or disappointed that maybe President George Weah let you down, betrayed you, however you want to term it as. Based on your experiences and based on everything that you've said today about President George Weah, do you think President George Weah deserved to be president?
No.
Why is that? Why
not
so?
that? Because as I said, this guy is he's not intelligent. Take for example, right? The three of you guys in studio now could be somewhere, and I'm the fourth person. George is the fifth person. Sekou comes in and talks something deep, good that would benefit every one of us. But maybe you, Steve, got something with Sekou that we all don't know. And Sekou, George has gravitated towards Sekou in the whole conversation. And soon Sekou go to the restroom, you come and tell George, oh, man, Sekou may have been talking about you. Oh, my God. Every good thing that Sekou said to George, and George said yes. If Sekou comes from that bathroom, George, his mood changes. That's not a leader. He's not a leader. He's not. And, you know, we try to protect him. And, you know, when we were around, I speak about Sylvester Williams, Karika, most of the time because that was a calm, collective man. And, you know, and we used to get angry at him too because he protected George in every way. So he don't deserve it. He's not a leader. He's not a leader at all. He gossips about people. These national team guys that are running today, if I tell you some of the things that he ever said about these guys, they will just go back in the sea and just throw themselves in the sea. He's not a leader, man. Come on.
Okay, let me ask you this question and I'll pivot to Sekou because I have a lot of deeper questions to ask. We're still talking on the surface here, but I wanted to ask you this question about President George Weah. Did you at any point connive with President George Weah to lie or deceive the Liberian people?
Yes, I would say yes. Yes.
What was that and why?
Because George used to come to, especially the national team. I would say that. Because sometimes, 10 Thousands of the Liberian people don't know that Charles Taylor paid George Weah back all the money that George used to pay. George loved the game football, so he respected the money. When George came to Liberia, so now when you get 5,000, you say 7,000. Everyone Snow knows about it, and they'll pay that money back to George. So if I'm there and I participate in that, I'm guilty, and I want to apologize to the Liberian people. I raise my hands because he used the national team, he used the people of Liberia to get where he is today. Because if not because of soccer, George won't be where he is today.
Okay. Well,
yes.
Thank you, Mr. Kanu. We'll be back to push a little bit on the Edwin Snow and all of that. We'll talk about the national team as well. Sekou, it's up to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Steve. And I want to take this time to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone watching and listening to us. A special thank you to those in Liberia listening to us on the radio. And my big thank you go to management and team of Truth FM 96.1 and to our brother Johnson Nebon Kula. I want to say thank you to everybody that have shared the show. I came a little bit late, but they say it's better late than never. My brother here, Mackalord, good to see you on SKTV, and we are very happy to have you here today to have this conversation. If you're not hearing me clear, if you're not hearing me loud, I can speak louder.
No. It's my phone, my battery, for some reason. You know, when you want to talk about George Weah, the guy has so much voodoo that everything will go bad with you, So
okay, so yeah, so I want to say this: all the questions I'm going to ask you, nothing personal, and nothing is about trying to, get you off track or trying to look down on you. But as you may be aware, there is there are two sides to our story. And first of all, I want to know, why are you coming out now? Is it because you want to sell your book? Or
that's a great question.
Let me just end the question, because
go ahead.
I'm going to ask you three questions and I will go to Steve. Is it because you want to sell your book? Why now? Why are you coming out now? Why are you speaking out now? A lot of people never heard about you for a very long time, but now you're here. Boom. You're on the radio. You're on talk shows, talking about George Weah, your personal friendship with him, how he's not a leader, how he's a leader. Why now? Why are you coming up now?
Okay, that's a great question. You want me to answer this first question, right, before we go to the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a great question. There's never late for anybody to come out and say anything or do anything. Because once you are a prudent person and you have conviction, you can speak out about anything that you participated in or you know about, if you want to be silent all along. I gave George Weah the opportunity 5 years. So I want you to go with me. I will take you to a short journey. 2017, when George came to power, I spent 1,200. I went to New York because all I wanted, that George and myself will have that line open, because we have discussed Liberia, Charles Taylor's time. I was going to be killed if Charles Taylor was going to catch me and want to do what I want to do. It's not I'm trying to, uplift myself or make myself relevant. And a couple of people, the late Paul Harris that gone today, is not here anymore. But there's another person in Georgia government, or he over there. That's my bastard brother. That sometimes I don't want to call his name. And, but we call one each other ba. And when he hear this, he will know that he saved me from Charles Taylor, because Charles Taylor wanted to get me. He said, "You bring Mackalord to me." Most of them know the story. So I wanted to go back to George and call George, say, "Hey, you and myself talk about Liberia. You promised to say, hey, 2 years there will be farming," because we used to be in Ivory Coast. The people self-sufficient with food, fresh fruits. We talked about it. 2 years, Mackalord, the country, everybody would be better. And the third year, maybe they would get $5 there. I will give you $2 or $1. and you would sit right beside me in the office. It would be the first time in Liberian history. So we talk about all of that. Now, because I went there to give him an opportunity so I could open the line, he refused. He refused. Leisure Rennie. Maybe if you call their name then today, they will be angry, they will be vexed because it's George Weah. But George Weah knows that Leisure Rennie told him I was there. Because I started talking to Leslie. Oh, my man did it. He said, my man, the man know you, yeah. I told him, man, hey, yeah. Okay. Eugene Namwe himself called me in the bathroom and said, my man, the thing I'm looking at, the man are your man. Today, you got to talk. So that was the first attempt. The second attempt, I came back to Liberia 2019 because I'm humble. I went to George Weah and got on my knees. George Weah is not God. He's not God. But if George Weah preached about the Bible and sit in the house of God, and those people that love George Weah so much and see George Weah's heart is so hardened, depraved heart, and they still say the man is a good man. Oh, woe unto them, woe unto Liberians that would do that. So I went there, they say, oh, I came to look for a job. Oh, I'm not working in America. I want to do this, that's why I want to go. I got on my knees. Who is George Weah? Who is George Weah? If you know George Weah, you will not respect him the way people respect him. But I got on my knees. I said, okay, I'm going to find peace with myself because this guy, I did not do nothing to him. And he knows that. So what do? I sat down, and the way he's running the country is the same way he's been using people. Use the national team. Use RE. Use the people that shoulder he stood on to come today, and then you drop all of them. That's the same thing he's doing with the Liberian nation now, and raking money and keeping it for himself. George Weah is maybe 10 times richer than what he played for. So it's a time. Let me tell you my breaking point. The 4 auditors that died, George is in the know. He knows about it. The 4 auditors that died because they were investigating a fraud, and they killed them. And George stood up and said, "Oh, the girl and the guy that died were and they boyfriend and girlfriend." How can you say that? How can you be so evil?
I don't want you to go that far. I wanted you to answer the question about yourself.
Yeah, but I was just telling my breaking point.
Why you decided to come out this time, and I think you already stated that. So another question I want to ask you is that you said, you and we have been friends from when you guys were boys, way back. Your moms, you guys' mom were friends and stuff like that. When did you realize that George Weah was evil? Because right now you said George Weah is a bad guy, is evil, he's not a good person. When did you realize that? Since you were with him, with this guy throughout for a very long time.
Yeah, again, as I said, people say if you knew him, why you didn't walk away? When you love somebody, got a friend.
No, I didn't say that. I just want to know, when did you realize that he was evil, with this bad person?
No, listen. As I said, I knew that some things about him was not good. But you got a friend that you love, you try to protect him and speak with him, and about it. So behind the scene, I used to tell him some of the things that he did. He followed most of the Lone Star players. He followed their girlfriends. He knew they were their girlfriends. That is not right. And and sometimes I participated in them too. I said to be guilty too. And because he would be making noise. And I said, listen, I remember 2 incidents that I participated in from Ghana, because that Ghana game, we were going to lose that game in Ghana when that person will come to jump on George that day. And I called him in the room, I said, you can't do that. I knew that before, but now he became president. My conversation now, and you ask the question you're asking me, is because I knew these things about him, and he has elevated this thing, in the West way. So then I said, okay, I can sit down supinely and just see the guy do the same thing that he had done to other people, done to the national team, i.e., people that came up to me as his brother. So I would have to come out and speak. And then I was ready to tell you, the little boy from Soup, the day they beat that boy, George Weah is in the know because he allowed Jefferson Kochi to tread that path. So that's what it is.
Okay. So somebody will ask, maybe you did not know a lot of things about George Weah, and that you see George Weah now reveal himself in terms of behavior, attitude to the Liberian people. He's not a good leader. In fact, he should not be president of Liberia. But after George Weah became president, you still went back to Liberia, according to you, and you got on your knees, trying to reconnect with him. Why you want to be associated with somebody who is such an evil person?
Okay. If you follow me, because people ask me, why are you on social media and having interviews now? And I said to you that I went to connect with him because of the things we discussed about Liberia long ago. So the people that knew Joshua and myself, the Basel people, they called me. It is there. It can be proven. They said this guy is not doing right. But we saw you and this guy together. They convinced me in America. I paid almost $2,000. I came to Liberia. I said, okay. And we agreed. And when I came to Liberia, Solomon George, I'm calling his name, and you can interview him and ask him. He met me. And he started cussing me up. Oh, why did it? He said, look, talk to this guy. If you get lay down on the ground, lay down on the ground, because that's your brother. I saw the both of you together before. So I'm saying to you, I came to Liberia 2019 to have that corridor open. That I did not have to come on television or whatsoever, but I could call him and say, brother, you remember we talked about this. Why are you doing, opposite? That's the means I wanted to a communication. That's all. I didn't want nothing from him. So I make almost $8,000 a month in this place when I hustle. I'm a U.S. citizen. And, I live downtown Dallas, in the heart of Dallas. A lot of people don't have the opportunity to live in Dallas. I just moved out of there. So who am I? I'm blessed and successful. I don't need George Weah, so I didn't go to him for job. I only wanted to prevent this. I come on your show and castigate the guy that I know, that I love, because of his evil deeds. That's all. That's all. I went back to Liberia, brother.
So, my last question now will be: let's say the president reconsider his decision and decide to listen to you, decide to open the corridor for you guys to communicate and reconnect. Will you still be doing the same? Will you still, be friend with him, or you have now say no, I'm done, I'm moving on? Will you be able to really stay connect with the president, or you just what, enough is enough, I'm done with this guy, I can't come around him no more?
Hey, cool. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Everything that I got on this earth, because of George Weah, evil that is in him, I don't want to be his friend no more. If I have the opportunity to sit down with George Weah, or I tell him, brother, you have stole enough money. You're King Solomon. You got all the women in Liberia. Leave. You cannot do this job. Leave this country, because this country is bigger than you. This country has suffered too much. Walk away and take and I would encourage him, talk to the people and say they should please let me go free, and let people of goodwill, knowledgeable, that when they come to him on a table to discuss, the people that will read and digest and come to the thorough process, thoughtful, before he speak. That's what Liberia needs right now. People with wisdom.
Thank you.
Need Liberia right now.
Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Mr. Cunning. Thank you, Mackalord. As we continue on this conversation, I want to move a little bit into some issues here that you raised during your answers to Sekou. You talked about the Liberian national team. I want you to please summarize Because we see Edwin Snow in the picture again. What's Edwin Snow's connection? And also, can you speak briefly on the Diadora contract that President George Weah had? Was this for Liberia or for President George Weah's endorsement, considering he was a celebrity? What do you say?
That contract, I will start with the last question. That contract, George Weah should be held as being a fraudulent person. So any contract that has been signed for a nation, the officials of Liberia should have signed that contract. Again, it comes to George Weah's judgment in decision making. George Weah was the least world best player that ever lived. There's no endorsement for George Weah there. George Weah signed the Diadora for $1 million or this, that. While those top boys, I saw the great Ronaldo of Brazil. He himself, I met this guy, endorsement because George Weah did not want to have a publicist or a manager. He said he's stopping in 11th grade, barely went to class in Westchester. And he's looking at me and telling me, say, oh, he's smart academically, and he can read and write and write on contract. So George Weah went to that contract with the national team. He robbed Liberia. That was a fraudulent contract that he, the only person, knew about that direct contract. He brought change to the people. I'm sure that Ball Charles, because I know that Ball Charles and somebody else opposed, but because they said Ball Charles, he and Ball Charles had disagreement, so Ball Charles were against him. A Liberian society, if you, Sekou or Steve, you myself have some disagreement, and you're doing something wrong, once I told you, say, oh, he's jealous. That's the society we come from. Mm-hmm. And yeah. So that's what happened. So he benefited from that direct contract. He cheated the national team, and and nobody know the contract. Nobody, no national player can tell me that they know how much Diadora gave George Weah for that contract. Again, as I said, he's a user, because that's one of the things that he did. The national team also, he played for the national team because he wanted to play soccer. Okay, I use this scenario all the time. The four of us here, we're in a community. Now, Sekou, mom had a store. Sekou able to get small change. And you, Steve, you can buy your own t-shirt in the neighborhood, right? And this brother and myself, Johnson and myself, we can buy a t-shirt. But because Sekou wants to play, Sekou will buy a t-shirt for the two of us. So I can play. That's the scenario with Joshua with the national team. But then when he got through with the national team, when he got through on the entire play, he said, to hell with you. And based on what God has given him, the true God, the Almighty God, not the God that Joshua is serving, not the God that Joshua is serving, but the Almighty God. And so he used the national team. Samuel Doe, I don't know if you guys are students of history. George Weah was a weak player back in the days. Samuel Doe invested money in George Weah. They went to Brazil. When George Weah came back, George Weah was a different player. If you all follow George Weah's career, George Weah benefited from the national team. Samuel Doe gave George Weah and other people money. Why did George Weah not reciprocate? He benefited from the national team. So George Weah was. Go ahead, ask the question.
So. Thank you for clarifying that part. But then also, can you please answer this question about the Edwin Snow assertion that you made? Because most recently we see Edwin Snow and the connection with George Weah seem to be rejuvenated and so forth. And we're talking about Liberian politics now. Briefly, let us know what you know about the Edwin Snow connection before we get to the next question.
Look, it's written all on the wall. Edwin Snow is another greedy guy, opportunist. And I disagree with Edison. He a nice guy, and I interact with him sometimes, but it's just greed. That's why you see George Weah and Edwin Snow, because they got those evil deals that they will go into. When George Weah was requesting more money from Liberia national team, Edwin Snow knew about it. Sometimes when I go there, he would just smile and this that. Oh, the man did it. He was in the know. but because they wanted for George Weah to come and play. He was the biggest player on the team. So that's what it is. And so Edwin Snow, I brought Edwin Snow in this conversation because he knew that George Weah was robbing the national team, but because they wanted to be connected. Edwin Snow wanted to be friendly with Self Blatter. George Weah was Self Blatter's son. Go ahead.
So let's push the Edwin Snow connections to politics, and also what you said about former President Taylor wanting to get rid of you. Unsubstantiated reports or sayings have come to SKTV, and again, we cannot corroborate this, but rumors are that Edwin Snow also informed President George Weah when Charles Taylor wanted to get rid of George Weah. You were saying Charles Taylor wanted to get rid of you as well. Why do you think Charles Taylor would want to get rid of you? What happened? What's going on?
So ask the question again. So Snow said about what Charles wanted to get George Weah.
So part of the rumors that have also gone on, apart from what you've stated, is Edwin Snow informed George Weah that President Charles Taylor at the time would come after him, and that's why George Weah.
That's a myth. That's a
exactly,
myth.
And that's why I said it was a rumor.
George Weah was popular, was powerful. Charles Taylor could not mess with George Weah. Charles Taylor had a disagreement with George Weah. George Weah was, a celebrity. The whole world knew that. Charles Taylor, I disagree with Charles Taylor, does that, but he was one of the most intelligent guy, sophisticated guy, and that achieved. You listen to Charles Taylor, he's street smart. Charles Taylor was not dumb. That's a dumb decision George Weah will make. No.
But why would you claim that Charles Taylor wanted to get rid of you? What's going on?
Because when you heard, I think it was 2002, we went to Mali, and then Charles Taylor said George Weah wanted to become president. I don't know if you still remember. I don't know how old were you at that time.
Yes, I do remember.
Yes, they told Charles Taylor that Mackalord, he got a boy called Mackalord. He the one that bringing this and that is to you because he heard the news from here and told George Weah that Charles Taylor wanted to get rid of you. So that's how and George Weah got angry and got on BBC. So they said, okay, y'all go for Mackalord and bring him. I was in Abidjan. I was about to come to Liberia. If you put George Weah down now, let me tell you what George Weah like. Sassewood. You don't lie. So he believed in Sassewood. You put him down right now because his own best friends has sacrificed for him. One day he want to give a friend Sassewood for small money. Small money. They lie on his brother. He disgraced the brother in the place, and they said I'm gonna bring Sassewood. So I want us to bring Sassewood on George Weah right now and say this true.
So Mackalord, let's move a little further because you call some people named here that maybe the Liberian people might not have knew about, but they're in the Liberian government as we speak today. So then my question to you is whether is the Minister of Commerce, the current Minister of Commerce, whether is Eugene Nangwe. What do you know about their connections with President George Weah and him bringing them into the executive, into the government today?
Look, Eugene Nangwe has similar attitude like George Weah. I would say it, and I he himself has something on before, which I don't want to bring to this conversation. And he attempted to assault me one time, and my car was parked one time. That's a different story. But Eugene Nangwe, go back. Where did Eugene Nangwe come from? Eugene Nangwe came to Liberia, Monrovia, I remember. Maybe I said to be corrected. The first time I saw Eugene Nangwe was at Lips. Eddie Dunn had a nightclub on Lane Street. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the first time I saw Eugene. Then the war came. Eugene went back across the line. Eugene has worked in every government. Why? You think Eugene is the only smartest person? There's a reason, but which I don't want to go into right now because I don't want, and let me deal with George. Eugene had done a lot of things to George, but because of power, George would succumb to those people, to Eugene. Okay? Again, I don't want to make this about Eugene for us to go take and talk because You know, he's somebody. I listened to him the other day on OKFM. He started talking about solo. Somebody said something. Callers call in. He said, "Oh, you see, I did it. I can call so I did it." So I know him very well, and I can go toe to toe with him. But it's not about Eugene right here. So you asked for Mawani Dix.
Mawani Dix. What's Mawani Dix?
Mawani Dix is sad. I don't want to be condescending. I don't want to be, because I know a lot of women listening to your show. But as I said previously, she does not have the moral compass to be to where she is or be an orator at that time. Mawani D is in a position because George benefits from commerce. That's why Mawani D is there, because George is benefiting from commerce. Listen, you open your eyes. George will put everybody to a strategic area, all his girlfriends, and he reaped from there. They're like, look, the Liberian people that sit there and say they want to juke you with knife, I'm so sorry for them, because I think it's because of evil. This guy don't care about them. But then they still come in and want to fight somebody about this guy. He benefits. So Mawani, this is over there. What, you think Mawani had the technical know-how of trade and commerce? I knew Mawani this long time ago. Mawani this used to go out with our boss, if I may say. And George Weah is proud to go out with Mawani this, our Karika girlfriend. And, you know, I apologize to a lot of people, a lot of women today. Our Karika girlfriend. And George Weah, that's the evil I'm talking about. And George Weah can parade with Mawani this today, that's evil. That's wickedness. When you talk to say you're emotional, you're angry, you're jealous, that's wickedness. Nobody that love the brother or soul or brotherhood will do those things. Those things.
Let's move past Mawani Dix a little bit. Let's talk about President George Weah's like you said, some of the people, because it seems as though there's a pattern here. Moluba Molu did state that President George Weah would, get involved with some of these people before he appoints them to various positions. But let's talk about other people names that have come out, such as what is Wait. I'm not sure if you're hearing me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Let's talk about what is Safa Gray or other people that are in the government today. What is your knowledge of some of these things? Because it seems as though there are competent people to do the job, but the president would rather align with his buddies from the old days or people that he knew back then to come and do the job, yet they're not doing the job, and the president is not doing anything about them, whether it's about letting them go or holding them accountable. What do you say?
Look, it shouldn't be strange to you. Maybe you don't know Safa Gray. I saw that little girl that used to be walking behind me. She saw me you see, look, they are evil. That's somebody that know me better. That's Joshua's girlfriend. I would say here with no regrets, with no fear. Hey, I have chosen this path. If I die tomorrow, just save this video and say, I believe in something. It's not anger. Okay, if you say I'm angry, I'm personal because Joshua is the president of Liberia. If Joshua walk out tomorrow, I would never ever talk about him. Never talk about him. But it's about Liberia. Joshua has an affair with Safa Megre. That's the little girl that I know. So if she put her brother is the commissioner. Commissioner for investment. You see, but because look, let me just give you a little story before I go back to that. Before George Weah, there was the greatest player in Africa, Abeti Pele, the Masters. Abeti Pele, before George Weah. If I tell you George Weah could not speak to Abeti Pele today, he never wanted to because of envy. The man was not in his time. But because Abeti Pele shined before George Weah chose Abeti Pele's little brother, Kwame Aye. That's the man he's friendly with. He don't want to be friendly with Abeti Pele, but there was somebody called Abeti Pele of Ghana that took Ghana to glory. The Ghanaian people, not Liberians. Abeti Pele, the story was told. Abeti Pele wanted to be FA president. The Ghana people say, You don't know administration. Abeti Pele, the masters. Let James Diba tell you about Abeti Pele. But it's only Liberia it can happen. So I'm telling you that we are different people. So George Weah comes to this place, and today we glorify him. George Weah feel entitled. Listen to George Weah, how George Weah speak nowadays. The arrogance that is in him, because he can say, "Oh, I did nothing for them, nothing for them, and they're still going to worship me." It's demonic. So with Sapa May grade him and this that, all those people he put there, the Joseph and Davis and all the people that he put there whatsoever. Listen, the girl at Freeport today, there's a guy called Emmanuel Halton. Emmanuel Halton. He used to play for the National Port Authority. George Weah knows him very well because one day we were talking something. He mentioned Halton. He knew Halton from way back. But if you ask him right now, as I said, he is a compulsive liar. So he will come and say something different. But he knows Halton very well. The guy that is academically achieved. The guy started as a cadet at the Freeport of Monrovia. I don't know where Halton is now. I haven't spoken to him for years. But we used to sit there. That's a darn trender. Halton would come from school from LU and come and sit on Kerry Street with us and go to Freeport. Look at the Port Authority. Port, the gateway to Liberia. Halton could have been from Quebec to a manager. George Weah knows that. You think George Weah meant well for Liberia? People like Halton that got the technical knowledge. You guys live in America now. You and myself live in America. When you go somewhere for a job, what do they ask you? Experience. Experience. That's what they ask about. Experience. When you got the experience, they hire you. So the people with experience, I still come back to Emmanuel Halton, to the Freeport of Monrovia, because I know this brother. I've seen him. Very humble guy. Those are the kind of decisions we're talking about. But because George Weah benefits from the Freeport of Liberia, when Bill Traore was there, he took money from Bill every time. George and myself talk about the same thing with Charles Taylor before. That Charles Taylor was doing the same thing. We criticize Charles Taylor. We curse Charles Taylor. I'm not talking about the trash people call themselves CDC. Wicked people, evil. They just came back and put together. And I'm not talking about them. My conversation is about Liberia, that George Weah. I want you to get it clear. Liberia, because this guy and myself have talked about Liberia. You're not supposed to greet the people there. Natalia McGill was not even there. Samuel Twain. You remember the conversation we had last time? He said, "You don't know me because I don't know him." When they call him in Abu Dhabi, George and myself was in Abu Dhabi, when they call him that time. And he don't love the country.
So let me move to one last question. I'll get for now. I'll move to one more question. I'll get to Siku. And see if Siku has any other question or concern. Then Milburn can chip in here. But let me ask you this one question, because you seem to be hinting at something. Listening to you, there is a connection here that either President George Weah attracts people to him, but you also don't want to talk. So here is a question I want to ask you. What is the bond that is between, whether it's you, the Eugene Nangbe, the George Weah, that keeps attracting you guys, or keeps to the extent where you stay there that you had to go and kneel down to your friend, man, let me put it in a elaborate way, to apologize to him, even after you claim he's wronged you? What is really going on that the Liberian people don't know about, that you keep hinting at? You won't talk, then you hold back. You won't talk. What is really going on?
No. The difference between Eugene and myself and George Weah is greed. Eugene is a very intelligent guy. Look, I would disagree with Eugene. I respect Eugene. Eugene is one of the most dirtiest guys that you can ever think about, but he's sophisticated. Eugene can do evil to you and just watch you easily. But I respect Eugene. George Weah don't have that ability. So I told the story about Eugene, Jacob Akoli, and Jimmy Mango one time on another podcast. Eugene, George Weah did not trust Eugene.
Wait before you continue, please. I will hold you right there. Jacob Akoli, who is the the
Jacob Akoli, yes. I don't know any Jacob Akoli. Jacob
hold
Akoli.
on, hold on. Let me establish this for the Liberian people because this is important for us to lay the connections. It's very important before you continue. Jacob Akoli plays similar role as Mariah Yakula for Alexander Cummings. Jacob Akoli is, in other words, the chief of staff for Joseph Human Boycott. And the Jacob Akoli you talking about?
Yes,
Okay,
a good
go
guy.
ahead. Go ahead.
A good guy. Very humble, calm guy. But he was Eugene's friend. So we came in the room, we're at the room. Joshua did not know them like that. He didn't trust them. So we go in the bathroom. That's what we're going to go discuss. And they start saying negative things that I don't want to repeat here because my sister called me and said, don't be saying that. And and we know you're not a homosexual. But that's what they thought. Somebody came outside and said, I don't know who did it. But I only want to tell you that he did not have confidence in them at that time to say some things. So we should go to the bathroom and speak about issues. One time I went to him. This is where I started to draw the line. I went to George one day when Jake and Eugene, I think Eugene was Secretary General or Chairman or whatsoever. And then the Eugene used to go to Salvatore Restaurant up there, up Ducal there, and you see them up there. I have come to Liberia at that time, and they sit up there, Eugene and them, they fit up the Salvatore Restaurant. So I have gone around, to the various areas and talked to the people because I'm a down trainer too. I come from the grassroots. So I thought the party CDC was really for these people. No, it was for a bunch of guys that had the knowledge to rob the country. They brought Joshua that is that smart and sophisticated. Academically, he's not there. And they told him, say, hey, listen, this is how to steal. And because he was broke at that time, he accepted that. So he kicked everybody away. All of us that knew him, that were protecting him, he kicked away because we're not going to allow him to steal the way he's stealing and taking advantage of the country. So that's what happened. Eugene is there because Eugene is a brain. Again, let me say it clearly. I respect Eugene. I disagree with him, but I respect him. And but maybe I know him very well because I spoke like this today. Maybe tomorrow morning I will hear somebody call me and say, oh, Eugene said he will come after you. I will not be surprised. But okay. I just want you to know that I respect him very, very, very much. That's it.
All right, Mr. Kane, it's up to you.
You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah. So once again, I want to say thank you to Mackalord for being here. Those of you who just joined us, this is SKTV coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona. We are live on Truth FM 96.1 in Liberia. So, Mackalord, I want to ask you. You mentioned something about, you guys used to go in the when you want to discuss something that you guys don't want other people to hear. You used to go in the bathroom, and then you mentioned somebody talking about being homosexual and stuff. I want you to clarify that because we learned that some people, people even accuse you of being that close to President. We are even having a homosexual partner. So I want you to clarify this part. Yeah, what's going on?
1 minute, you say we are getting feedback, I think, from Mackalord, so you got to check up. We're getting terrible feedback. That something somebody.
I think it's good now. Is the feedback coming from your end, Mackalord?
Yeah, I think so.
Which feedback? Which feedback?
No, it's
not
like
music.
I think he's good.
It's like what?
It's like music. It's like music. Somebody is playing music.
There was a music playing.
Oh no! I'm sitting in a public place.
I don't think I hear. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sitting in a public place.
All right.
I could go outside if you.
Yeah. So, I want you to clarify the part that you talk about. This whole idea of going in the bathroom, talking about different things, and then people, misconstrue that, attaching some things to being homosexual and stuff like that. I want you to clarify those things because George, we have been accused by a lot of people calling him homosexual and this and that. And we also learned that you were accused of being somehow, quote unquote, a homosexual partner to George Weah because the way you were submissive to him. I want you to clarify those areas, please.
Okay, Seko. As I said, George is not a homosexual. I would say that. All right. But again, with the same breath, I can say that I don't know this gentleman no more. Because I remember back then, George used to say about this Mason thing. He had a story one day that he was coming from Mama Point. The people had blood and they ran behind him. And this, that. So now he's a big Mason now. Everybody there. So maybe that's some of the ritual they perform. I don't know. But when I was around him, we all know because we come from poor background, from the slums. So we take out together. That time, nobody even thinking about all of that. So back then, I knew that he was not a homosexual because nobody said anything about it. Yeah, right. We slept together, even on the bed, on the floor, and all of that. And nobody said, oh, this guy is a gay or whatsoever. But the Liberian people, they said that. They accused me a lot because why the guy would love you so much? Mm-hmm. But I speak about it because of the connection between his mother and my mother. So it was in that same regards that these two children come back together, in a spiritual form, and they get connected. That they knew one another before, and they went apart. So people wonder, even my friends in the old school, some of them don't say, they say, oh, I'll gossip of them. And there's a few of them that I know. You can say that. I saw gossip about George. I saw George gravitated towards me more. No, because I spoke, he and myself. Let me tell you something. We used to get up, George and myself, we'll go to Negro Town. He lived Clara Town. I live in Negro Town. There's a place in Negro Town called Plaza Cinema. Where in Negro Town, when you go after the courthouse, you turn in. There's an old man used to fry Killer Willie. The late Paul Harris is gone now. We used to sit, he and myself sitting in the back of the taxi, and we lay way back so people can see us. We'll be arguing, he and myself. Let me be honest with you. Let me confess, right? I miss that brother. He's stupid. He will make you laugh all day. He'll lie about it when never happy. And all of you laugh all day. You're enjoying yourself. You're fighting over food and all that. I miss him so much. But that was that time. And we would drive to Negro Town.
So let me ask you this. So when the book is coming out, because you holding a lot of things back, and because you don't want to disclose pretty much everything that is in the book, and that would take away some of the value of the book, because the excitement in people to read that book is very high. So I want to know when the book is coming out.
Yes, I could release the book this December, but the purpose of which I come out to read this book, it will be lost. I wanted this book to have an effect on the election, because I do not want for George Weah to be re-elected. If George Weah is re-elected, Liberia, it would take over 50 years for us to recover. It would take a lot. But because Liberians are selfish and wicked people, they only think about today. And today, what they can get. They're not thinking about the generation. Look, trust me, all the girls in Liberia, we sometimes I find out, how many girls you see talking about situation in Liberia? They don't speak. You go to interviews or whatsoever somewhere, you don't hear them talk, because they got other means to get money. I know some of them will get angry at me, but they're not concerned. They're born kids that they cannot raise, they cannot buy food for. They will sit down, they don't care. The men, they impregnate all the girls around, they don't care because of selfishness, the Liberian people. They only think about today. So if I bring that book up today, after 2 months, it will not have any effect on the election. So I want the book to have an effect on the election, that when people go to the ballot box, they will think about the evil that is in George Weah. They don't know George. They don't know this brother. They don't know him. The brother is a user. You maybe you haven't asked me a question about the people that brought George Weah to where George Weah is. Maybe if you
All right.
allow me to talk about it.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to that, but later on. Your relationship with George Weah, it seems like it's deeper than we know. When it comes to understanding George Weah's family, there are a lot of misinformation or disinformation about Weah's and his family. How much do you know about George Weah's family? Like the mother, the father, the grandmother, everybody else that are connected to George Weah. How much do you know about them? Do you know who
Oh,
George Weah?
I'll be
Do you
honest.
know his father?
Even the George Weah himself, he never really sat down for 30 minutes to talk about his father. I'll be very honest. I'm not trying to say, oh, people talking,
So you don't
he's
know
my
anything about
father,
his
this,
father?
that. Huh?
So you know nothing about Weah's father. Who is the president?
No,
Weah's
no, no,
father?
no, no. Only one or two bits and pieces you talk about his father. But his mother, his brothers and sisters, I have interacted with them. As I said, Georgia's mom and my mom were best of friends. The first time I ever got to know, I was in the 8th grade, I was in the 9th grade, I came from Cathedral School, Temple Village. Georgia's mom was sitting down. They were living Chocolate City at that time. Sitting down, my mom has sent for the old country or suitcases, the big one, the trunks. And my mom, because my mom has been hard working and she was successful at that time. My mom had like 4 different businesses in Temple Village. We had 2 cars by that time. And she was doing good. We had warehouse and store, wood, and coal. My mom was doing great. I came from school that day, I saw her sitting down. And my mom was giving her a lot of things. And when she saw me, my mom spoke back and said, oh, Abraham, yeah, yeah, yeah. And she jumped up and grabbed me and put her on my lap. I went on her lap. When she left, I told my mom, I said, but that guy, what they call Opon, that Opon, they won't let her Opon. So she smiled. She said, Uncle, you remember when you're small inch ball, we used to pass that beyond Oman Baba. I said, you lie, man. She said, I heard you. So I know his sisters. I know his brothers. The Clarence we are now, I know Clarence we are. His sister, Mayu play. And there's the story that I know about them. He don't talk to them. But I don't want to talk about Clarence because I know maybe he got different interpretation about what I would say. That his brother is not talking to him. And it's sad because we all know they were cool. And I don't want to bring up the story here, what I know, and because I was on live the other day. He made some comment, and oh, Fun never died. I tried to reach out to him to ask him question, but I was never able to get it. So I don't want to mention him, but Moses, Wallow, a kid that I know, and his sister Kemai, and the other one, and as I said, his mother may also rest in peace. They know me very well. His sister Maya play with know me and very well too. So that's how. But his
Yeah.
father, he have not
Thank you.
spoken about his father in a way that people speak about the dad. And and they say, oh yeah, my dad is a party. He was to Letraco, and that's the only thing I've heard. They had this coach. I mean, this diet group. And his father was casting over. That's all he would say. But he never
Let me
spoke
let me
highly
let
of
me
him.
let me let me ask you: do you belong to any political party or you affiliate with any political party at this point?
No, no, I don't
Do you
believe
have
in a political
Do you
party.
have anybody in mind that you would like to support in the upcoming election?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a very great question, and I will answer your question in twofold. Right? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay. I want Liberia.
we are hearing you. And then somebody calling his phone. You can go off and come back.
He will be back. He will be right back.
Yeah. So this conversation is very good. It's very important. Um,
It's important, but
but
I'm
but
feeling
there are a lot of missing components in the conversation.
yes, and that's
He's not open to. I think let's bring him back.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I saw somebody that Zizzy Roberts trying to call me. I
Okay,
saw
that's okay.
interrupt the call. I said do not disturb. I don't know why it's coming on. Okay, and I said I'm going to answer the question in twofold, right? Because I want Liberia to be better, and I would say something here today. Maybe it will shock a lot of people because I'm disappointed with the opposition. I'm disappointed. I'm not with no political party. I mean well for Liberia, and I advocated for the poor. Liberia, the two parties, the ANC and the Unity Party. I want to speak today clearly. I am nobody, but I come from the grassroots, and I've been in Liberia, and I know Liberia. If these two people don't get together and unite today, like every day one person is bashing the other people, and I think, let me tell you why I think the opposition is wrong. They're telling themselves, I am saying it, hold me liable. They think that the Liberian people, the way they voted Joshua in, they will get fed up with Joshua and they will vote against Joshua. That's what they're thinking. And they're very, very wrong. They think that the Liberian people will get tired with Joshua and they are not doing nothing. They only fight among themselves because they seem to be the only same greedy people that are coming. But if it continues, and if I have $5 million today, you hear me well and you hear me clearly. There's a guy in Liberia called Abraham Darius Dillon. I am saying it. I got no connection with him and nobody. I have seen that guy wisdom. You people can disagree with me. You can disagree with me. I have seen that guy spoke to the conscience of Morovia. That guy is humble. He's collective. He's thoughtful. He's not 20 years old, 35 years old. If I have money and the opposition does not come together to fight Joshua, and if I have money tomorrow, I will put out and talk to other people who will bring Darius Dillon on and somebody else, and they will run for president. But the opposition is disappointing me every day as I look at it. Look at Joshua came to America. We all got our nose in the air because of the oppositions. Did anybody go up there to any of the opposition people walk to the United Nations office or headquarters to protest against Joshua? No. All they feel is that people get tired with Joshua.
Yeah, so let me bring you back. You do not belong to any political party at this point.
No.
If you had the money, you believe that Senator Darius Dillon is a president of Nigeria. You can put your money on him.
Yeah, use the word that I said. If the opposition does not come together from now until December to start strategizing to fight Joshua. Joshua has money. Joshua is cunning. Joshua is evil man. They know, look at Sekou, Steve, and Johnson. Look at the country. They say Joshua is a peaceful man, a peace ambassador, where he never did any peace, nothing for Liberia.
I understand. I just want to discuss the Dillon factor.
Yeah. But
because when
let
you
me
say,
add.
When you say you guys disagree with me and this and that, no, we don't have to disagree. We don't have to agree. I mean, we bring people on here to speak their mind and speak on issue based on their knowledge. So what is the motivating factor to you saying that Darius Dillon, for you to put your money on Darius Dillon to be president? What really motivated you?
Because he's calm, he's thoughtful, he has wisdom. When you listen to Darius Dillon at interviews, he speaks knowledge. That's a leader. Darius Dillon campaigned for the senatorial election. I watched this guy. He spoke to the conscience of the people in Monrovia.
Okay, and
maybe I can ask a question. Go ahead.
Exactly, because I've been sitting, just observing Mackalord. This name, been household name. I've been hearing this name since 2005 when we were coming up. Yeah, so Mackalord, I want to say good evening to you, and thank you so much for taking all your time. Thank you so much for everything, all the questions and answers, everything. Yes, so there are so many things that have been said and you've been answering and so on, but Liberians now are tired of just empty talk, and you just said something, about one of Liberia senator, Senator Darius Dino, that in fact you want to pull your money, you want to do everything. But Liberia want to see physical work. They want to see people that can do the work because the frustration in the faces of our people are not living the kind of life that they want to live.
Mackalord, I don't know
Yeah.
if you're following.
I hear you. I hear you.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right. So yes, going to Senator Dillon. Are you now seeing the same thing that you're running away from? Because Liberians are also tired of Senator Dillon. Senator Dillon, I haven't spent even 2-3 years here, but Liberians are already tired and frustrated, or maybe they're already feeling frustrated about him. So are you not making things worse for the Liberian people?
Yes. You know, the Liberian people, they too, they are very, very difficult to deal with. Abraham Jairus Dillon has come and I follow him. He has said a whole lot of things against the Georgia government, the corruption and all of that. Have the Liberian people stood up any time to say, oh, what the guy is saying, let's peacefully march and protest? Have you ever seen that? Dillon exposed a lot of things in
And,
Liberia.
and yes, and Dillon also is Dillon is also part of the same government, and in fact, he joined the same military that you've been talking about.
Yeah, but you see, what you're saying is that I remember Jarvis Dillon said that he won't ride $17, 1,700 or that 7,000 or whatever, $65,000 car. And his argument one time I listened to him was that it was not bought for him. It was given to him by this particular lady that left that particular city. I think died or whatever. I can't remember the story again. But this guy has done so much good. If he said, "Oh, I got in a plane and he bought a ticket that was not right," he didn't go see from Liberian people. He has exposed the Senate. He exposed a lot of things in Liberia. Liberian people, let me tell you something. I was speaking to one other guy the other day in Liberia. I said, your group of young boys, just stop watching Arsenal and Manchester game and all that. He said, I should pay them so they can go and have conversation. I'm going to pay him and his friends before they can go and sit down and talk about the country. That's the mindset of Liberians. They don't believe in ideology. They don't vote on ideologies. No. But I
Yes,
believe in Darius Dillon.
yes, yeah, because the reason is that all the ideology that you're talking about, they talk. Liberian people are just tired with too much of talk, and they want to see them they work. They want to see people working.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, let me ask you. It's not the same Liberian people in majority that said Georgia should not go to debate. Did Georgia debate anybody in the presidential election? Not the same Liberian people.
So let me come in real quick. Let's forget about the Dillon factor. Mackalord, I can say this to you. When it comes to your connection with President Weah when he was not president, we have no knowledge of you guys, what you guys did and what happened. But when it comes to the current reality, I think you have your right to choose anybody or to believe that anybody can be president. But I don't want you to try to defend or speak anything to Senator Dillon's work because we are this platform is one of the platforms that really helped to elect Dillon. So there's nothing that we don't know about Dillon when it comes to politics. You have
Yeah,
your
but
right. No, so
Sekou,
what I'm trying to say,
if you allow me.
let me just conclude. What I'm trying to say is that
Okay.
you have a right to say let
Yeah,
DeLong.
I'm your guest. I'm
You
your
would love
guest,
to,
right?
yeah. You to say you would love to see DeLong president. That's okay. If you can, we can try to put your money on DeLong. But let me tell you this. Um, I want us to continue the conversation about President Weah. I wanted to ask you something
Yeah, go ahead, Segu.
when it comes to his
Segu,
new.
okay, let me clarify something first because
Yeah,
you have
yeah, yeah.
said you asked
Let me
me.
ask you. Let me ask you.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
You can do that. So when it comes to the president re-election, you think if President Weah run against, let's say opposition, we are talking opposition, they didn't do their due diligence, and then you now you go you and other people now you're going to choose DeLong to run against President Weah. You think DeLong can win President Weah in Liberia?
Yes, Sekou, yes. You know what I said, yes?
Mm.
Sekou, I listened to Delon. I was not in Liberia, but Sekou, Delon spoke to the conscience of Liberian people. Delon came down to the low people, the downtrended, the people that are making stupid decisions for Georgia today, the people that say if they go to bed, if they don't eat and Joshua eat, they're happy. This guy was able to go. I saw his campaign. I'll tell you something. 2009, I came from here. I went to Liberia to help the late Gerald Linton campaign. I lost everything in that campaign. DeLong and myself were walking up the steps. DeLong participated in that campaign. How much did DeLong, how many people voted for DeLong? But the humility, and the humbleness of DeLong. I still remember we were walking that day. And DeLong said, "Oh, Mackalord." I said, "Yeah." I started laughing. I said, "Begin. How much voted for you?" He said, "I think I 3 or 4. My wife, my daughter, my son-in-law, and my best friend." And he started laughing. And I said, "Yo," and we ran inside. And I've seen this guy. He used to come on Kerry Street. And he would stand up to that forum back near Finance. He would stand there and listen. He would come from work. You got your little book bag and listen.
Okay. Let me ask you. Maybe DeLong say doesn't want to be president right now. So
Yeah, but I
DeLong,
just said it. It's
no.
up to him.
I understand. But I'm just asking you now. You say you're not affiliating with any political party. Will you support Senator Nyomli Kanga Lawrence for president?
No. Senator Yomri Kanga, she must have related, by the way.
Okay.
She must have never really met. I'm from the Donald family, so she must have related. But we never really spoke like that. Way back. I think I saw her one time way back when we were kids. We never spoke. But I have not seen Yomri get up and say anything for me to say, "Oh yes, she's fighting and she wants to be." It got to show. I have not seen her. A Boyka don't talk. Commies, he talks, but there's nothing energetic in their voices to say, yeah. Look, George Weah and his followers, they are not sophisticated people. They're not intellectuals. You got to deal with them the way they know. I didn't say bring war. But you got to be on the case every day. Look at Akara's grave. I come to Liberia one day. I met Akara's grave 2010 in Philadelphia. The day he saw me, when he heard my name, Joey, I said, "Ola Mackalord, trust me." That brother was mesmerized. But now today, when you ask him, he will lie because he's shining. He was looking at me like Jesus. He thought he saw Jesus that day because he better hear my name. Now, I come to Liberia one day. One morning, my cousin driving me. This boy is on the radio. He's spelling up words from LU. You know that student companion? Where they memorize all the words there? Half over 80% of the sedition don't understand where the big terms that Akara's grade is using. They don't understand it. But they stay in the corner. "Oh yeah, the guy speaking Pope, man. The guy speaking Pope." And that what make Akara's getting today, they can just sit down and curse people up and say what they want to say. And that's it. So the people know you got to fight these people the way they know how. You can sit down, you rap press statement. You do that, you're talking like you're whispering. No, it won't work.
Thank you, Mackalord. Sekou Oles,
Yeah,
So let's
yeah. I just want to add one last question because of the
please.
presidency. So, assuming that the opposition put their act together, but we have President Weah, Alice Cummings, Joe Buckeye as the three major contender for the presidency. Who will you support?
I will support the opposition. I will come and campaign for the opposition.
No, no, no.
If
But
they
but,
come
but, but,
together,
but I'm talking about opposition in different group. Like let's say divided opposition. Buckeye run for
no, 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 no,
president.
no, 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 no,
Listen,
no, no. I disagreed. Yeah.
I said I'm saying, or as it's right now. Let's say everybody, remain in their respective position and they run for president. Then you have three major contenders. We are Buakai and Komis. Who will you support? The three of them among the
Because
three.
you asked me a question that it's not possible because three of them, no, the three of them can be president. At one
No,
person,
the
if the
three of them
first
can run
round,
for president.
two, yeah, but two has to go because Georgia cannot get
No,
50%.
I'm talking about in a general election. Before you talking about second round. Okay. Assuming that Buakai and we are go for second round, or Commission we are go for second round. Who will you support?
I will support Cummings. If something we are go second round, but this is about right now, as it is now. I wanted to come together because George Weah has all the tools.
Okay,
Listen,
you wanted to come together. Who you want?
Segu, hold
Who
on.
you want to
Segu,
be
hold on.
president?
Segu, hold on. Segu, hold on. I have said something the other day, and nobody talked about it. You see how sick the opposition makes me. The commissioner of election is compromised. Have you ever heard anybody talk about that lady? The head of the elections.
We have
Where?
talked about it. We have talked about it a lot.
Send me the tip. Send me the tip. The way I would be.
We talk about it a lot.
Okay. I apologize to you then.
Yeah, I'm not talking about
The Liberian
a
people,
lot.
the Liberian people, the opposition are talking about, oh, they don't want to Reiki election. The woman is sitting right there. She's sitting there. That Africa, not in America, that's a sophisticated country, that Africa, she can impact that election. She's compromised. I've never, ever, thank you for reminding me. I will go back to your platform and check. Has anybody gone to say, look, let her go and ask this woman to do something? It don't happen in Ghana. It don't happen in Sierra Leone. It's only in Liberia that will happen.
I think we only got 3 minutes on the radio. Look, back to Steve.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So
wrap it up because we gotta go.
Thank you so much, Mackalord. You've made some good points here. You've made your views, your opinions here on SKTV. Like we said, today's your debut. Thank you so much for coming on. Unfortunately, we could not get to the people on the radio in Liberia, but we want to announce to our viewers and our listeners in Liberia that tomorrow we will be on talking lots of different national issues, starting from scrutinizing or examining the interview from Joseph Yuma Boakai. We'll also be looking at the ANC most recent convention that they're having tonight. I think tonight is their ball, whatever it is, quote unquote. We'll be examining that as well. We'll be talking about other national issues, the religious. We'll be talking about the current elections and some of the things that are going on nationally tomorrow. So want to encourage you to please tune in tomorrow. Melbourne, do you have anything for us before you leave us?
Yes.
No, not you, Mackalord. Mackalord.
No, it's not you, Mackalord. Yeah. So Mackalord, I want to ask question, but no time. So I just want to say thanks to you. And but in this life, when the two of you become friends, you grew up together, and so on, I guess that relationship still remain. So you just do your best. Make sure that you don't break the relationship, no matter what happens. And do whatever. Yeah, yeah. I understand that you are a little bit hurt.
Loyalty is both ways.
Exactly.
Is both ways. Not one way.
Yeah, exactly. Because Segu asked you a lot of questions about your what are you willing to extend, or maybe if the president extend olive branch to you, you are willing to go and you say yes. So I think it would be good that at least you just level some of the talk, make sure that at least, because Liberian people are listening. And please, when it comes to presidency in Liberia, we on ground, we know what we go through. So Don't say they one is good and they one is bad and they one is there and they one is that. So thank you so much. But the other thing that you choose, I feel even worse. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Milburn.
All
Have a
right,
good
thank
day.
you,
We'll talk to
Melbourne.
you tomorrow, Milburn. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you so much. And our people in Liberia, thank you. Those of you who cannot be on the radio, switch your gadgets, please, to Facebook. We'll be on here for the next 5 to 10 minutes, and I will take 2 calls so that the Liberian people in the diaspora can speak with Mackalord here. We'll take few calls here for the next 5 minutes because we're not going to be on past two. At least we are at 1:55 now. 1 hour 55 minutes, at least by 2 hour mark, 2 hours and 5 minutes. We want to close this up and call it a day.
So the people now start calling you.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Kane. We'll take a few calls.
Caller, what is your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Abraham. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Abraham from New Jersey. How you doing, Abraham?
I'm Baro. How you doing there? How everything?
Everything is good.
Okay. I just want to address neighbor.
Mayborn.
I want to address. Yeah.
But Mayborn left already. The radio we are not on the radio right now.
Oh, I just want him to. He the only person that keep Dara belong. He did the last when people when Dara belong go for the presidency he run. The Liberian people are tired with him. He's the only person in the Liberian people. He is the Liberian person that tired with belong. But all we know, Dara belong is doing his best in our thoughts. You can't compare Dara belong with any other person in our house. Even though he's not my fan, but I can say the truth.
Yeah, you're not his fan or he's not your fan. I don't understand.
He's not my fan. I mean, like, you know.
You are not his fan.
Anyway, any kind of way, me and I go to college. You go to college.
Okay, I got you.
So I just found this. Okay.
No problem. Thank you.
So that's it. All right, bye-bye.
Everyone says that in there. You say you're not your fan, I'm not your fan, you're not my fan. He said, me, I'm not going to college. The man say, you're not going to college, I ain't fan, you're not fan, they're not my fan, you're not my, I'm not your fan, that's it. That in there. So, yeah. Mackalord, I don't know, man. This your audio thing is bad. I want you to be really listening and getting all directly while you watching. But hold on, you are muted. 1 second.
That's it.
Okay, yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Another. We have another call. Caller, what is your name? Where you calling from? 612 number.
Hey, this is Ben Jenner from Minnesota, the undercover citizen. How are you?
Undercover citizen, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Yeah, my brother. Welcome.
So there are a few things that I want to speak about that Mackalord talked about. You see, Mackalord is bitter, and I will understand why he's bitter. As a friend who was with a friend for quite so long, I can see why he would be bitter. But my question to him is that you have been knowing this man for all these years. If he was such a bad character, the way how you have described him over these years, what has changed? What has changed? Was this when the money went out? Is that was that time that you knew that he was such a horrible person? Because if he was accurate and sincere, if you want to get sincere to the Liberian people, you could have told them long time that this man give people moving left will be a very horrible person.
Is he asking a question or are you making a statement?
No, yeah. So that's your question, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What the question is? What now? Correct, Ben?
Yeah.
All right.
I have a caller.
Okay.
Mackalord, hold on. You answer the question one by one.
Yeah. Yeah, Steve, hold on. Let me take this caller then go to you.
Sure, sure.
Caller, what is your name? Where you calling from? 210 number.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mackalord and to the host of the program. My name is Abraham Saniogo. I'm calling from San Antonio, Texas. I have a
Your name
question
is
for Mackalord.
Abraham?
Abraham Saniogo.
Abraham Santiago. Go ahead.
Yes, I have a question for Mackalord. During the campaign, when George Weah was running, you guys were telling the Liberian people that George Weah was a wealthy man. He was worth over $80 million. And today you are saying that he didn't have money. And so didn't you guys promote him? And didn't you guys lie to the Liberian people? That's
All right.
my question.
Thank you. All right. We go to Steve and then we'll go to the other caller here. So Steve,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
Hey, this is Lofa Julius, and I'm calling you from Raleigh, North Carolina.
What's up, bro?
Mackalord, I've heard of you. I've listened to you on numerous occasions where you have voiced out your frustration as what it appears to be for me. But a couple of things that I just want you to make some clarity on. At this point in time, Mackalord, are you simply revealing to Liberians the real George Weah because you, as a person, have repented because you realize that you, as a person, deceived the public and led us to believe in one thing, and now that you have realized this, because it did not benefit you personally as you expected, like the others who are now on the bandwagon. So you are now coming public with all of these claims that you're going with, or this is simply a political advertisement and what we would consider a commercial for your upcoming book that you think because the likes of Abba and other people benefited from the name of George Weah being mentioned in the book, you as well can also benefit from mentioning his name and going public with all of these assertions and claims that are being made. Secondly, I want to ask you, and I hope I am not just rolling every question into one. Hopefully you can understand it and answer my question. But my second question here will be, do you have any regrets? And should you, within yourself, think you need to apologize to Liberians who are not as opportune as you are to benefit from what you benefit from today, a system that works and protects you and your family. And you misled them believing that you would have been a beneficiary of what George Weah would have acquired. And today you realize that that is not the case. You are just as much of a victim like all of us that sit on the fence and hoping for a better Liberia. Thank you, Steve. I sit to listen to the answer to my questions.
Thank you, Lofa. Okay,
Right?
Sekou, we can hear you, Sekou.
Yeah, so let me take the last call here so that way we can just get over with the calls.
Right.
All right, I think this is Prince. Prince, how you doing?
Yes, thank you very much, and thanks so much to the SKTV family and our brother in Liberia who is helping to relay the program in Liberia. And Mackalord, thank you very much for coming forward and speaking out and saying the truth and what's on your mind. I just want to say that Liberian people were very good at diagnosing other people, and we using our own symptoms to diagnose other people. The other man kind of talking about, oh, the man is what they call it. I don't know what therapeutic degree. I don't know why I'm talking about the man. The man is hurt. The man is this and that. Look, the man is talking about the man is bitter. The man is not bitter. What Mackalord is hurt. He's disappointed. because of the betrayal of a person he took to be his friend. When he trusted, when he dedicated his friendship to, and that person betrayed his friendship, undermine him, and caused him a psychological and a mental stress today that he's trying to let go of by writing a book about his experience. But we'll keep telling you people past performance is a good indicator for the future performance. They say, oh, you have no penny book. The same thing they mentioned in Mackalord, I see the video that brought people as a nation now. They train Laben people using the Laben Pro for your own self-acquisition, their own self-benefit. Lie all along the way to become president today. He lied again in the presidency, stealing from Laben people again. The man talking to him about man beta. The only person I know who is beta is George Weah. If George Weah was not beta, he was still the other brain story. A childhood friend and say, look, wherever I tell you sorry. Because he don't want to say he pastor, he go on the pulpit all day and he preaching on the pulpit and insulting people on the pulpit, using the pulpit as a means for carry out a political attack by his friend. And the Mackalord, I agree with you. The opposition is the one that is weak, like Keman Penty. Because the opposition is not weak like Keman Penty or the Baba John.
My man, don't consider that.
My man, slow down.
Come on, man.
The opposition is weak. Because the opposition standing today, the election has already been compromised. The election commission, they were given a mandate to clean the voter registry. They didn't do that. The censor was determining the dynamics and the political landscape of the next election. The censor will not be done. It cannot be done. And today the public is just saying that they're waiting for tomorrow to come and say, oh, the man cheated. So no matter what, you're right. And listen, with regards to Dylan, Mackalord, let me tell you, maybe you're not have you been up to there, but Dylan here, you still on Dylan 2.0. But that Dylan 3.0, you know, Dylan has joined the people. Dylan is corrupt with the people. Dylan is one who are undermining Laben people as we speak. All his legislation, his votes against the Laben people. You, Mackalord, Dylan have voted like you will never be nothing in Liberia. You can't even be people in Liberia. They call it dual citizen bill that we are challenging in court that Dylan voted for that bill. Dylan voted against their pension for even when he dies, his pension will go to in next generation.
So you don't have a question?
Huh?
You don't have a question for him?
My question to you, Mackalord, is this. Listen, your book, how can you tell us more about your book and where we can purchase the book and so we can know if it's on Amazon or if it's coming also we can
The book now? Oh, yeah.
this book.
The man said we're thinking about December.
Okay, then please be talking more about this book. The reason people read memoir, people read biography of leaders in the past, so we can know those leaders. We can use those things to compare. Now, when that book comes out, we know the detail about Oprah. Then we'll start to we can determine whether Joseph Barker, we can see that trait or that symptom in Joseph Barker or that trait or that symptom in Arizona coming. Then we can be able to examine those leaders there, look at the past performances, and know that this leader will be the future leader that will help Liberia. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Prince. Thank you. Hey, caller, what is your name and where are you calling from? 443 number.
Oh, my name is Edwin Moore. I'm calling from Arizona.
Edwin Moore from Arizona. How can you get, I don't know, Maryland number?
Because I'm from Maryland originally.
I know, I can tell. How you doing, my brother?
Yeah, fine. I don't have a question because I think everybody has access to the same question I want to ask, but I just wanted to say one thing to Mackalord and other Liberians. Mackalord, thank you for the information, but for some of us who were in Liberia, all the things you're talking, we knew about that, like me. But one of my things that baffled me, like I think Steve and Sick was saying, there are a lot of untold stories that Mackalord is not saying, or maybe because he's keeping it for the book, I would understand that. But half of the things you guys saying, that things that we all know about. But one of my main things that strike me is that every Liberian that leaves George Weah in a circle, who stood up and misled the Liberian people, they only come out at the time to break up with George Weah to say all these things. We all knew that George Weah entered from the senatorial position, he was broke. But these same people, Mackalord or George Solo, they came out and said he was one of the richest men he had this. They misled us. My thing here is all of the guys need to come back and apologize to the Liberian people first. Your broken record is good. It's good to inform the people, but you need to apologize for misleading. You guys are the people that got the youth today in Liberia the way they are because you're so George Weah to them. And the boy George Weah, the guy on the head and taking him. Like I take another example of the former information minister. He insulted people in Liberia today. He no longer we are. Now he's saying all the things that the people were saying, that you guys were saying on the show, they were disputing all those things. Now they come back to say that should I agree wise man changes. I agree with that. Wise man changes, so you guys have changed. But look, every one of you guys that helped to sell Joe to the people today needs to come back to the public, apologize for misleading the Liberian people, because you guys are part and parcel of what Liberia is facing today under George Weah regime. There's no way you can divide yourself from that behavior. You're the one. You saw this young man when we all knew that this young man was not capable of even being a senator. But you're so into the Liberian people, they bought him. Now they got him on their heads. He's hearing that a war part of education. So they just ran over there on the street. And like you said, you know that he started to appear the guy from earlier, and yet he's using words that don't coincide with the conversation they're having. But you're so this way. So you need to come back. Every one of you need to come back and look for sincerely apologize to the Liberian people for misleading them. If you guys can do these things, then when you're saying things, because some of us, nothing you're saying that.
Thank you.
It's strange to us. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So that's it for today. We're not taking any more calls. So Mackalord, back to you now. You can go ahead and answer some of these questions, and then we will close.
Thank you. Thank you. I think I tried to be right. I jogged, I think, some of the questions down. So hold on one second, please. The first caller, I don't know, I can't remember who said, they asked why now. You know, as a prudent person, a wise person, as I said before, maybe I was naive. Maybe I thought I could help this brother back in the days to see, and you know, we're around him, he did some things that was not right, and we try to talk to him, right? But there's no time that is late. If you realize that something is wrong, you can fix it. Okay? So my coming up now is that I have given this brother 5 years. And the 5 years has been abuse, profiting, and being arrogant, and speaks so arrogantly. And that's why I'm coming up. My break point was the 4 auditors and that little kid from Soup that they beat, because that's the society that George Weah have created. He sit in the back and allow it. So, oh yeah, you'll be afraid. That's why he allowed Jefferson Koshi to do that, because it had been before the Liberian people saw it. Long time in Ghana'sville, Jefferson Koshi marched over there. Why would Jefferson Koshi do that? George Weah supported that. So now, I'm speaking it now because the poor people are suffering. And I decided, say, okay, as a prudent person, I said, I cannot sit supinely and just watch this guy drag this country down to the drain that we have talked about. That's why I'm coming on now. Secondly, we said George Weah have money. You see, that caller was unfair to me. $88 million, I never said it. The Liberian people put that money together for George Weah. They seen Liberian people. They said George Weah were friendly with Berlusconi, were friendly with Jacques Chirac, were friendly with Macron, and all those people. He would bring all those people here. Those young people, oh God have mercy, that are not taking the country anywhere. All they do now, they rob, pimping all around. Those are the most dangerous people. If George Weah loved that country, he was going to create jobs. Those children are going to start riding, pimping all in the street and killing themselves. But they think George Weah loved them. No. You know, so those the same Liberian people, and you know, that gave George Weah the resume. You're going to bring all these world-class players, and president of Italy, and this, that. They didn't know that George Weah got no connection with these people. But because some of them knew that when they get into power, they would steal, so they did that. George Weah never made $88 million before. The person that did that particular promotion, I know the person. And you know, she has to raise Georgia Moran. I know the person. It's in the book. Georgia never made $88 million, but the Liberian people, they gave Georgia a resume. And you know, now the other quarter asked, I think Julius. Yeah, I listen to Julius most of the time. A cool guy. He asked if I was going to benefit from Georgia being president, so full of Liberian people. No, Julius, no. We come from the trenches. When we saw that Liberia, the entire country was going the way it was going, so the first thing I told Joshua, let's get into business. Because I had a restaurant already, Julius. I had a telephone business I was doing, Julius. Most of my friends, I credited them money. So when I was waiting for Joshua to be president, they don't want to say it because I gave Joshua property. I had my own money. And when I came back from the refugee camp, when I came back, I stepped up my game. So I was making money for myself, putting food on the table for me and my family and my friends. So it was not that I was enjoying our pocket or I was waiting for Joshua to be president so I can benefit. No, I'm a humble person, Julia. But I thought that when we were discussing, we were going to be around to protect this guy. And he swore to me, he said, look, Mackalord, you know me already. If we don't say, if we take over this country, 2 years, the Liberian people will enjoy farming. We talk about farming, being self-sufficient. We talk about all of that. So it was not something that I was trying to the benefit or whatsoever. I've been a humble person. I was only thinking about the country and advancing. That's all it is. So it was not about myself that now, because I didn't benefit, so I come after him. No. I come after him because the way he's taking the country. Look at George Weah. Look at George Weah convoys. Charles Taylor was condemned before by George Weah. Myself, we sat in the car. Charles Taylor passed and we're cussing Charles Taylor that day. I went to Liberia 2019. I stood for 28 minutes. This brother that nobody is running behind. Nobody running behind him. But he got his convoy with a lot of army people. Plain clothes securities in there. They're paying people to go talk, to go and record people. Who does that? That only evil person. The people love you for no reason. They pay people in the street to record somebody and go carry gossip because that's what he believes in. He's a gossiper. He's the chief gossiper. And you know, so it's not because of that. The things that he did that I disagree with now because they were one of the things he talked about. We criticize Chancellor every day. We curse Chancellor every day. And he's doing the same thing. He got women all over the country. He's pregnant in little girls. I know that down today he got another little girl, got a baby for him right now. Which when I told they said, oh, you're angry. The other caller said, oh, I'm angry. Yes, brother, I'm angry. Yes, brother, I'm frustrated. Oh, yes, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated for the good reason. It's not a reason you will be thinking because of your evil deeds, your selfishness. Because where you are, maybe where you are today, you're enjoying. The people behind you that you left behind, that were better than you. I don't know where you are right now. I know you're in America, you're eating 3 times a day, your children going to school. But because of your selfish nature, the wickedness that do it in Liberia, that do it in you, you don't care about other people. I brought the Bible into this. I'm angry and I'm personal because George Weah is the president of Liberia. I talk about the book in the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 8 to 9. God talk about the poor. I eat 3 times a day here. I go to the restaurant every Friday. Ask people that know me. I spend almost $100. I eat an appetizer, dessert, main course and dessert. And I tip the waiters. So the other thing you're talking about, just I spend almost $100 every Friday and treat myself. So I'm angry. Yes, I'm angry. I'm angry because of what Joshua is doing to the country. Is that what Joshua has passed through? Only $3,000 Joshua gave me all the money you're talking about. And you have millions of dollars. I said it in one of my podcasts. George Weah should have made me have 100,000 to uplift myself. He could have put us in a position, every one of us that were around him, that he could have benefited from us, but he refused. All he wanted us to do, walk behind him and get $150 or $200. While the people, girls that he was sleeping with, they were taking $2,000, $3,000. I'm a witness. So it's not that, oh yeah, I'm angry because no, I'm angry because Joshua is the president. If Joshua leave today, if I ever call his name, take knife and write on my back. Because he stayed in the church and say, oh, this, that, oh, I elevated Mackalord. That's not true. If you elevate somebody, the life will show. He gave a Nigerian man 100,000. You're not angry, but because the wickedness that is in you, that come in after me and say, oh, this is going to benefit. No, he gave Nigerian man 100,000. The man did not need money. He had other players that he was managing already. But he decided to give that man the money because he didn't want me to be in a better position. That Guinean guy, Abdul, he made Abdul today. Abdul is one of the wealthy guys in Guinea. But you guys are not angry. It's because of your evil mind. Because of the wickedness that you're doing this day. The other one come and say regrets. Okay? Yes. I regret a little bit because some things that we could have said today to the Liberian people, we didn't say it early. I regret. And I want to apologize sincerely to the Liberian people. But the Liberian people themselves need to apologize to themselves. Because this holy guy a high esteem. Look at the people that we say the native people, our own people. The people in the street, they're taking their lap up because of the men. They don't eat. Their children are not going to school. And they're still behind the men. They're jumping up and doing this and doing that. When you talk to them, they won't fight you. It's evil. It's not normal. Because I have never seen somebody that suffer and suffering. They can't put food on their own table. And they're still telling you the man is my God. The lastly, the guy talked about my book. When the book will come out. The book, I want the book to have an impact on the election. So I'm waiting. Julius, again, he said I will benefit from the book they read because Abatoba didn't know what I know about Joshua. You ask Abatoba today, he will tell you. The in-depth, the way I know Joshua, Abatoba didn't know about Joshua. Abatoba benefited from the book. So no, it's not what I'm doing. I am speaking today because of the way Joshua is going, the promise that he made to me before that demonic court. CDC is a court. It's not normal. The wickedness they practice in CDC, it's a court. That's what you're talking about. Say, it's not normal. CDC is a court. Witchcraft is practiced there. I'm talking about before Joshua and myself. We talk about Liberia and the other people around us at that time, the other guys that were going to be guarding him in the right way because we're not afraid of him. You know what the guys and prophets today? Because they learn from us. And they say, oh, when you criticize Joshua, he will cut you off. So other than keep quiet, all they do, they rake and rake and rake. And you sit right there and you see it. Oh, oppressors, woe unto you, for you will eat the bread of sorrow. And your Liberian people that are sitting down there criticizing somebody because they're speaking the truth about Joshua, I pray to God, I will go to bed tonight. It's not normal for you. Like you will be suffering every day and you're still worshiping this man. Okay? Thank you.
So what will be your parting comment for us today?
Yes. My parting comment today, I want to speak to the young people of Liberia. And I want the opposition to take advantage. You see those pimping riders, those children are selling the scratch cards and today. Most of them are the voting bloc. So I want them to go after them, sit down with them and speak with them and do more. And tell them that sitting down in a video club and talking about Arsenal and Manchester and Barcelona, and even the younger girls too, they're more into that. They don't talk about the things that go on, but they can talk about Barcelona. My parting comment is that I hope if they put things in place and go to these people and speak to these young people and make them to see, not because they say Ronaldo and Messi, and they say, oh, Joshua was world best player, so they gravitate towards Joshua. Joshua was a different player. He's a different man. Those guys invest in other things. They got companies, they got businesses, but Joshua do not have none. So please, young people, You come back to the table. Let's discuss. And I will come to Liberia. I will come to Liberia, and I will join the campaign to make George Weah a one-term president. I'm not against him, but the way he's taking the country, that's what my anger is. When I say I'm bitter, yes, I'm bitter because this guy is a user. He using the Liberian people. He used IE. He used the national team. He used people like Lydia them, Karika them, and other people that stood before him. Look at Sutoli. I had a conversation the other day with my friend. He said Sutoli was a con artist. But all of you know Sutoli. If Sutoli even took money from Georgia back to back, look how Sutoli died. Look how Sutoli died. You know how many people George we are not wrong and stole from before too when you're coming up? Look at a man that died like that. Because he said, oh, George gave Sutoli money to come back. And Sutoli said, oh, and the money you gave me, so he left the man. People don't do that. You saw Joshua in Sitoli. So I am begging you, let's do better. Let's come together, opposition. Opposition. You please. And some of y'all, I'm trying to believe that making noise and cussing one another here, some of y'all been compromised. Y'all been selfish. There's something in this for y'all. Like when you sit on your platform and just cuss and say, never in the history of the day, never did that. Just stop. Just stop because history with Georgia, and it will follow your children. And your benefit today, and then the country go back to Georgia's hands, your children will pay for it. The curse is going to be on your children. So I thank you for allowing me to be here. I wanted to know that I'm bitter, I'm angry. That's true, but I'm not angry and bitter because Georgia did not call me a damn buka. I don't dance buka no more. I have evolved. I have evolved. I don't dance in Buka. So if you say that because of Buka, Georgia did not call me and this, that, that's it. I'm sorry. So I appreciate you. I'm humble. And anytime for us to discuss national issue,
thank you.
Please call on me, Steve. And thank you again.
Thank you so much. And we'll be reaching out to you again, Mackalord, for more conversation like these. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Thank you, and thank you. We'll give the announcement, we'll leave. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it for yourself. That was Mackalord, one of George Weah's former friends. But here's what I wanted to say in terms of the announcements. Tomorrow we are on. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the tape. Let me say the tape. The Jose Yuma Boaka's interview. We will be discussing it tomorrow. Unpacking some of the things he said and so forth. We'll talk about it tomorrow. So, UP partisans, Jose Yuma Boaka supporters, put on your Get Mad Feel jacket tomorrow and clothes. Come on. Come with the accusations as usual that we are communist people, we are communist men, we are ability men, we're the other men. Come on tomorrow. We'll be ready for it because we'll also talk national issues. We'll talk about allegiance, about what's going on. We'll talk about the ANC and the convention as well. So, communist people, some of you might be driving home, flying home, or whatever it is. Come to with your the people that let come in. Yeah, want buy more coming. Come with that too, please. We'll be here tomorrow, but no stone will be left unturned. And the good thing is, we owe no loyalty to anybody here on SKTV. If you in your house or in your head believe that we owe allegiance to Cummins or the ANC, that is fine. That's your right. You can think however you want to think. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But, I'm not here to censor your thought process. But the truth of the matter, we'll discuss the issue. And the more you continue to say things that don't make sense, it speaks volume of you. The more you continue to accuse people that don't make any sense, because I think, to be honest, if we were truly coming station, then we should have been at the event, carrying the event. But since some of you, your common sense is not there, it's been washed away either by the political party you affiliate with or the political leader, because sometimes some of these things don't work too good, especially for some of you grown men and women who decide to still run around with talk foolishness all day, we'll continue to educate you and inform you that you're not okay in the head. As for me, I will continue to do that. You want to take it personal, that's your business, but I will continue to educate you because it's not fair for you to accuse us foolishly. I'm not saying substantial accusations, but I'm saying foolish accusations that make no sense, but you continue to run with it. These are the same things we're trying to eradicate from our society. And it's very sad that grown men and women are doing these things. Very, very sad. You write a post where you ask a question or you make a statement. Instead of addressing the statement, they run around it and talk foolishness to distract. The same way Hasidicians would do for George Weah. I see some of you people who support Joseph Human Boakai are doing the same thing on a daily basis. Only because somebody didn't fall in line with what you want them to do. Or because they're not on the bandwagon that you are on. That's not how it works. Everybody will not support who you support. Everybody does not have to be part of a political party or support somebody. It's just a realistic fact. It is. That not everybody supports a political party or a political leader. We've told you over and over. On here, we do not support this person. But one of the things I've noticed is because we criticize Joseph Yuma Boakai, so we must criticize Kumi. Even if there is no reason to criticize him, we must go criticize him. How does that work? How does that work? If there is a reasonable reason to criticize somebody, then you criticize them. Joseph Yuma Boakai has worked in government. His record is clear. We got to scrutinize it. It's okay. If Kumi has not worked in government, he doesn't have those records to be scrutinized. You can't create something to go scrutinizing. Why you think we can scrutinize? We can't go after Taiwan Gonglo as much because there's nothing there. You can make it up. Joseph Boakai has too much shady things. So we are asking for clarity. Joseph Boakai told you last year, the first time he appeared, after you're begging to appear, and he told you arts was going to be roll are going to be what you were going to do. In less than 6 months, he went on Tima Janate and Spoon Talk. He changed it to arts. Then today, he's changing it to AREST. So we can't ask questions? We're supposed to be dumb like most of you? That's how we're supposed to be? That's how me are supposed to be? I'm supposed to fall in line like most of you? You really get work to do. You really get work to do. Like I told some of you who support Joseph Human Boakai or who support John Weah. Like I told you, get ready to get your vest close on because you'll be getting mad 24/7. We will scrutinize Joseph Human Boakai. If you think me saying Joseph Human Boakai confused is an insult, that's your business. Take it any way you want to take it. Because the last time I realized the word confusion was not an insult. If you think I see some people and you want to abuse the elderly man, whatever it is, you're insulting the elderly man. Listen, if the elderly man knows he's an elderly man, he need to be in politics. That foolishness that we're not settled for him. If the elderly man comes to politics, we will scrutinize the elderly man because he's in the public sphere, he's seeking public office. That nonsense we did 2017 blindly gave a blank check to George Weah. Nobody held him accountable. George Weah talked beautiful nonsense and we took it. You think that the same thing we're coming to do for Kumis, Gonglo, and what he need? And Boakai? You think that what we do? You got work to do. You got work to do. You ain't get vested. You ain't get vested. You really ain't get vested. Because your candidates will be scrutinized. What are the ANC? What are Unity Party? What are what they got in Taiwan Gonglo? All of them, they'll be scrutinized. And you don't come and tell us one thing today. Tomorrow you tell another thing. Day after tomorrow you tell another thing. You think we're stupid? Because you're not focused and consistent in your thought process. So you should just be changing the goalposts as you go on. And we also say, I'm not saying nothing about it. Oh, because of the old man. Myself, I get old men in my family too. But there is no old man that will misbehave or try to confuse people and that old man not be checkmated. That's not true. What are you, old man or you young boy? If you think you will use your so-called wisdom to come and fool people and trick them, you're off for a rude awakening. You better wake up. You better wake up because that thing don't work with some of us. It does not work with some of us. You can be as old as Methuselah. As soon you trigger some funny things, you'll be questioned. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. I'm not into that your thing there. Like you're looking for jobs. Like you're passing around your own appeal to people or Mayor said look good to people. I'm not here for that thing. I'm not here for it. I ain't come on Facebook to make friends. I don't know what I came here for. I came to discuss the Liberian people thing. And whoever will do any funny thing, whether that communist or whoever it is, you know how many ANC people pays off because they can look at me. I'm not part of your party. I don't support your candidate. But you tell me to pay my way to go Maryland. To go to what? What sense does that make? Okay, if I'm going to go to a convention, then why now went to United Party convention? Why now went to ALP convention? People already accusing people of being attached to ANC. You never invited us as a media institution. You invited me as a person. I reserve the right not to go. And I will not go there because if I go there, it sends a wrong message. It sends a wrong signal. Nobody can fool me or play me. That's not how it looks. It sends a wrong signal. If we say we are doing it for Liberia, then guess what happened? Then let's do it for all the parties. The United Party having the stuff, then we pay our way, we go there because they invited us as individual. That would make more sense. If Liberty Party having the stuff, if they don't invite us as media, then we pay our way, we go there because they invited us individual. Then is ANC doing the same thing? Then we pay our way, we go there. It will make more sense, it will be more reasonable. But they're already accusing us that we are attached to ANC. The ANC posted, will send an invitation and we want for her to please be there. What am I going to do there? I'm not going there as a media person. What am I going to do there? My presence alone there. You don't understand optics in politics, eh? You don't. And then on the contrary, for those of you who say, this station, that ANC station, good. Let's give you the benefit of the doubt even in your stupidity. Let's agree with you for once. Let's legalize and examine your stupidity. Why is it SKTV is not carrying the program? Why is it SKTV not there? If we are truly communist people and coming border station, why are we not there to cover it? You see how you don't think? Because you don't think well. I think everybody don't think well. So you're trying to be reasonable here. And some of us, even though we might be on Facebook, but we got principles and we are different. We're not the same people. We're not the same. We're not the same. Some of you are followers by nature. Some of you will continue to be followers till you die. You were born a follower, you will die a follower. That's fine. Everybody not the same. I'm not a follower. I don't fall in line with foolishness. I don't fall in line with foolishness. Even my executive director, when he tells me something that doesn't make sense, I tell him this does not make sense for my department. So we're going to re-examine this. But some of you don't have no principles. You don't have no boss or whatever it is. So you use the issue of culture. Or you can't talk to the old man like that. You can't ask the old man like that. Let the old man be passing around. Let the old man be passing around trying to confuse him, saying they won't confuse her. And we are seeing if we're not asking. I will ask him. I will ask if Joseph Boakai is confused. I will ask. And none of you can do nothing about it. Nobody can do nothing. I don't want to say it. I will ask if Joseph Boakai is confused. If the president of the Republic of Liberia, John Weah, I can tell John Weah he misbehaving when he misbehaves. That Joseph Boakai, I can tell say he's confusing people. You're serious? You better wake up from your sleep, man. You really, really better wake up. I'm not in your generation. I'm not in your thing. Me, I'm not in your thing. I'm not in your thing. I will call it as it is. I will call it as it is. The only thing here is nobody's perfect. Don't just try to play games. Don't confuse us. Don't confuse us. We already confused with the Wahala we got on here. Then you want to confuse us? And he said that wisdom. And then he said nobody should question you. Oh, okay. So nobody might question Joseph Boakai. We might get Joseph Boakai clean slate. Then he just go to presidency. We get clean slate. Come go to presidency. Then they do anything they won't do. I'm 2022 year, and I'm 2017 year. So I can say it to anybody. Your candidate will be scrutinized. ANC, United Party, Tiawan Congo, whoever it is, will be scrutinized. Will be scrutinized. Whether you like it or not, that's your business. I'm not here to make friendship with nobody when the more in. I don't call nobody to say, help me pay my rent or pay my mortgage or whatever it is. So me and nobody on that conversation, I'm not sucking up. Y'all who getting paid for talking foolishness with confidence, y'all go talk it. Me, I will talk the facts and the truth. Joseph Boakai, tomorrow, Joseph Barker interview will be on this particular Sunday. We will scrutinize it and we'll break it into segment. Now, I would rather be on record for saying the truth than to be on record for lying. Then later on today or tomorrow when I play it, then I'm sitting there scratching my head like, I would rather be on record for saying the truth. I know some of you might not like me, but you will respect me because when you sit down in your homes and you sit down in your thought process, when you know it's not true, you say, yeah. Even though they got on support, but they can say the truth. That's why some of you don't like what we say, but you can stay on friend request. When we go post, you can stay come there because you know what? You know we are saying the truth. We're not just on your side, but you know the thing that we say that true. You know it. You know it. You know it. And you know the people who been lying to you. But because you are accustomed to lie, you don't want to come up with it. So say what you want to say, think what you want to think. We appreciate you for always being here. Even though we can deal with your political leader and your political party there, they will always be here. Some of you can be spotting from distance. They love, hey, no hate, it's all love. But when it comes to saying the truth, don't worry. You will get it from me. You will get it from me. If my pa or my mom were in politics, I will still question them. The day I tell some of you my relationship with Jawan Gonglo, and I stayed up to today. I don't support him for presidency. You say, what? Why you do that? But you don't know. You have no clue. Keep passing around, looking for jobs, and trying to bring your own man in. Then you be president. Before your man come in to be president, we'll hold your man accountable. So that today or tomorrow, when they make any mistakes, we can say we told you from the beginning. At the end of the day, people will make that decision. But we're not going to shy away from saying the truth. Whether your age, whether your status, your condition, your height, your physical expression, your physical morphology, which is your look, we will not stop for saying the truth. We're not. Call me, say behind the closed door. You like it, you can call me, you can text me. Oh, my man, slow down the papi small. Hey, my man, you know the papi. My man, I want papi. Like all of papi. Joseph Parker and my papi. But I'd rather tell my papi the truth. They do lie to my papi. If my papi is behaving confused, I will say, my papi, don't confuse us. Simple. I'm not disrespecting the fact. But anyways, thank you so much. Much appreciated. Let's have a good weekend. I don't know, today's rainy in Arizona, so have a good weekend. Stay blessed. See you tomorrow, SKTV. Let's close the show with tomorrow we'll play gospel music, the Ghanaian gospel music. We'll play it tomorrow. Now enjoy.
Learn